Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy K Dot, the first Black Super Saiyan to wear revive on this planet. I'm back here with another stream. We might be a little bit long on this one today. This is probably the only stream you're gonna see today. Maybe I might game stream after this. I don't know. But we're gonna keep it, kind of focused on these topics today. We technically have four, might only be able to get to three. Some of these topics might take us longer than the other, but we'll see. What's good, Cole? We have more people joining soon. Don't know exactly who, but more people might be joining.
Yeah, might not stay for the whole stream, but we'll see.
It's all good. Just want to have some people in here to come share their opinion. So, first things first, I want to talk about the Ezra Miller specific thing. And not gonna lie, it got me a little riled up today. Not too much. I'm not like pissed or butthurt. A little salty, but I'm mainly a little salty because there's a lot of biases going on in general with these type of matters. And the thing about it is a lot of these are people's lives that are being played with because people have their biases and little hypocrisies and stuff. But we all have biases. Now, some people have biases that are completely harmless and that don't harm a fly. For example, let's say I'm debating someone about MCU Captain America versus MCU Iron Man. Who's a better character? I'm a little bit more biased to Captain America, so I'm going to probably lean towards gassing up Captain America live.
That just gave me flashback to that whole Predator versus Captain America debate.
Peak debate. MSK should have kept that shit up. But well, let's use that for an example. The Predator versus Captain America thing. Now, Captain America, I favor him a lot more, especially his MCU version. And I'm not a huge fan of Predator, but I can still debate about it and try to be less biased. But my bias about that isn't as harmful as someone talking about, Ezra Miller and Jonathan Majors. Now, I'll say this about Ezra Miller real quick. A lot of the stuff they have done, I don't condone. There is some allegations against them that are absolutely not true, but there is stuff about them that they have done that is absolutely true. Let's just make that clear. I supported The Flash 2 times. I seen the movie in theaters. I went to a free screening, so I don't want to hear anybody talking about, I hate Ezra Miller, blah, blah, blah. I'm a hater, blah. I supported the movie, all that. My issue is, and I know this is on Twitter today, not sure if you've seen it, Cole. When Ezra Miller put out his little statement today, I've seen a lot of people showing a lot more sympathy towards his situation and him calling out these, calling out these outlets that have been, attacking him. And some have been taking information and not actually doing proper investigations into some of the allegations against him.
Yeah, again, that's what they all do, though, K-Dots. It's like, it's sort of like the James Gunn tweets where it's like, it's sort of like a witch hunt, as he said in chat. Sort of like they'll take things and it's like they might not be like true or confirmed as facts, but there's so many of them that then they'll just like keep piling them and without like proving if any of them are true or not, they'll just say that that proves he's automatically guilty because there's so many that it's impossible for all of them to be fake, right? So then they just keep slamming and forcing it, and I keep attacking him. But I mean, there's definitely some things that ended up being true. Now, the very worst stuff,
totally.
The very worst stuff, I don't know, but there's definitely stuff that has been true, though. So that's another thing that when people try saying he's completely innocent, it's like you're lying.
Right. That's the thing that I don't like. Like, there is some stuff he's not guilty of, and there is stuff he is for sure guilty of. And I'm going to bring up one for an example. And this is the first case we saw Ezra Miller do something. But you guys, I don't hate Ezra Miller. I literally went to go see The Flash. I was even being very in the middle about the situation with them. Y'all seen it. I did want to hear Ezra come speak up at some point because all this stuff kept happening back to back. And I was even saying, dude, you need to speak up and say something because I as a person that's trying to really support your film, and you keep on getting into this drama and you really expect me. There's a lot of people that support Ezra Miller that expect us to just overlook all the drama they have accumulated. And all that drama they have accumulated has for sure harmed the Flash. It harmed the movie. There was already people that was already against it or whatever, but that drama harmed the film. It and that news got out so much that even the general audience didn't want to go watch the movie because of Ezra Miller and their drama and their situation going on. I hope Ezra Miller gets, help and takes a break and just chills out and all that. But still, I can't overlook the fact that Ezra Miller could get on camera and do this right here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I tweeted this out today. So Ezra Miller can get on camera. They can do this, right? This is the first thing Ezra Miller done. Now, let me make this clear. If you put your hands on anyone, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, be prepared to defend yourself, right? If you assault somebody, just be prepared for them to, either hit back or whatever. Defend yourself, call the police, get this person charged if they do try to assault you. But a lot of people that support Ezra Miller, that support the community he's a part of, and just in general, a lot of people will not accept a person that looks like a male assaulting a woman in any circumstance, right? Especially the public. The public will not condone that. There are some people that will. I believe that, we should all keep our hands to ourselves. But if you have to use force on someone, it needs to, be reasonable. This video we saw, Ezra Miller assaulted this girl. Now, we don't know if this is staged, and we do not know, because there was never any real elaboration on this matter, right? We just know that nobody was charged.
Mm-hmm. That's the confusing thing, though, because a lot of people brought up, like, what's the difference between, like, this and some other cases, and also some others that they kind of, like, compare as the same thing to then this. It's because it's like, there's definitely moments like this that he's done on camera, but all this stuff that's happened is so weird. Like, we never got full context, and it's just like visually looks weird. But he definitely it's so. And
weird. That's the annoying thing about this. This is why I say I needed elaboration on this, because at this moment, right, I don't really know what to make of this. But let's just look at it. Let's take it for what it is. Now, I'm not saying these are the same degree. These are not the same degree, but they're both in the same situation. It's a male individual assaulting a woman. Not to the same degree, but the same exact thing, to an extent.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller gets on camera, chokes a girl, slams her down. Chris Brown, who we didn't see on camera, I'm not trying to say Chris Brown's any better, but he assaulted Rihanna. He physically attacked her. Now, what Chris did was way worse, but why do I have to, keep giving Ezra a chance, give Ezra a chance when nobody else wouldn't do this with any other individual, right? Any other male individual. If I was on camera and I assaulted a woman and punched her in the face and threw her on the ground, I would get dragged and people would attack me. And let's take out the fact that, take out skin color, all that. A male individual assaulting a woman is not accepted by the public. So why do I have to keep giving Ezra Miller a chance? Give Ezra a chance. And you guys, mind you, I gave Ezra a chance. I'm not here to tear down Ezra or say they're a bad person. I am willing to give them a second chance. I am willing to. But don't tell me to, let this slide here. And let's jump to Jonathan Major, for example. He's being charged for domestic abuse, right? We didn't see it on camera yet. We don't know what happened exactly. But this gets seen on camera. Jonathan Major's situation, nobody has enough evidence to say if he's guilty or innocent about assaulting a woman. And Jonathan Major is getting attacked way more for doing the same, for doing a similar thing here, assaulting a woman. And Ezra, when he did it, people barely talk about it. People barely mention it. His news was going silent. It was going like aqua silent. It was so weird people would talk about it one day, and then next day on Twitter or just in general, everybody stops talking about it.
Yeah, and
until
it seems
the next
it's
drama
always
came out.
people with like biases. It's like always the people who like the people who started out this whole thing when it first broke with him doing weird things, who defended Ezra, are the same ones who then defended him here. It's like they stuck with that bias, a lot of them. And again, I'm not surprised he wasn't charged for like assault or anything like in the legal system, because again, there wasn't like full context. It's a really weird clip, but
right,
for
because
like the public, yeah.
Cole, this is what I think. I think both them. Now, this could have been a situation where these two was playing around, or it actually happened and they just settled it and just like said, it's all good. We was playing around.
Yeah,
right.
Even I think though, even in like the best case scenario with trying to explain this away, it's still not a good look. So the fact that so many people like, again, I'm not surprised like legally that he wasn't charged or anything, but the public saying stuff with just how many people are saying there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. It's just weird.
Yeah, it was good, Murdoch. Ezra would have the most watched documentary tied with facts.
And I frustrating too.
I wouldn't be shocked if a documentary gets made about this. I think some documentaries are going to be made about this, especially the recent one with the MCU actors that's happening. And guys, let me make this clear. I'm not trying to make this a black versus white or a LGBTQ versus race thing. I'm just talking in general. Jonathan Majors and Ezra identifies as he identifies as they, them. But I'm looking at it for taking it for face value. They're both male individuals that are in trouble for assaulting women. One person is getting more sympathy and a bigger pass than the other individual. And I think that's wrong, because this is how I feel. If I walk down the street and I see two guys just randomly punch a woman in the face, both of them deserve to get the same amount of hate, all that, for doing initially the same thing. They both punched a woman. If I see someone who's a pedophile, right? And they're someone who's a pedophile, they molest a child, and someone else does it, both of them deserve to get the same amount of hate
and to be punched in the face.
And that too. And like, they deserve to get the same amount of hate. There shouldn't be no, well, I mean, that pedophile is my favorite actor, so I'm not really going to hate him as much, but I hate that actor, so I'm going to bash that pedophile a lot more.
I really love Ian Watkins' music, so I'm going to defend him.
Right, and that's the thing what I'm talking about, because these are people's lives that we are judging, and people are throwing too much biases into these type of situations. Like I said earlier, with the argument of, let's say me and Cole have an argument about what's the better movie, what's the better studio, Disney or A24, right? And it's gonna, a lot of it, that's a harmless conversation, unless we're not acting dumb and getting into toxic stuff. I can say, well, Disney Tarzan has a better soundtrack than those trash A24 movies. I might be more biased towards Disney, but my bias in that conversation is not as harmful as me having a bias between two people that are being accused of the same exact thing.
I know how to end that though. Which studio supported the Nazis? Done.
Yeah, I don't know, man. A24 might have some dark secrets. I'll find them. I know they got some dark secrets.
Yeah.
When they was working on that, there was that Green Dragon movie. That movie Green Dragon they made?
Oh yeah, no, Green Knight.
I don't know, man. I think that movie was specifically was specifically used to slander Asians and make them seem like they're hoodlums.
Green Dragon. Jesus Christ. Okay.
You seen that movie, right? It's A24.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Green Dragon. Yeah,
it was that was a good movie. Underrated.
For a second, I thought you meant Green Knight, but no, that one. I don't know if that's the exact.
Well, I might be saying the. Let me see. I think the movie's called The Green Dragon.
I think it's not. Okay, Revenge of the Green Dragons.
Revenge of the Green Dragon. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah, that was one of their weaker ones, but
I mean, it did look a lot. It did look very low budget. I mean, it was only 5, but I still thought for the low budget it was. I thought
I mean,
it
it was when they were starting
great.
out. This was like the time when like their biggest film was Spring Breakers. It was like 2015 where they really took off. But anyhow, the thing that really frustrates me though is throughout the very start of this entire situation, the people accusing him have had one thing that they say that proves it all, and that's the taxi footage. And this entire time, we still haven't gotten it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even a taxi. It was, well, from what Major side is saying, they're saying it was a private, like it was Escalade and stuff. I think it was an Uber, but it's not even a taxi because we saw there were some reports saying it was a taxi and stuff. That's what I say, and you said it too, which I totally agree with. Wait until more evidence comes out before you start to really formulate a big opinion about the situations going on with these legal cases. Now, real quick, I'm
both sides.
Yeah, both sides. I agree. And so this is Ezra's words. This is straight from Ezra's Instagram. I'm gonna read it real quick and see what you guys take away from it. I'm gonna tell you guys how I feel about it because I don't have as much sympathy for the situation. But let me make this clear: I do not hate Ezra Miller. If Ezra Miller were to somehow stay as the Flash, would I be mad at it? Well, yeah, kind of. I'd be kind of pissed. Yeah. I'm like, you can't get rid of Henry Cavill and keep Ezra Miller.
Well,
based off the situation that happened.
It would be a stupid decision because, again, I'm willing to give him like a chance down the line again. Like that's fine. Right. I'm okay. Like he's not a bad actor, but he's
not good for business. You can't even market him on a red carpet.
He should go to rehab, which he did, and then he should drop out of all the current roles for the time being that he was signed to do, which he did. But then also, third thing, he should just move away from the Flash and Warner Brothers, and and then later on in the future maybe he can like work again on a blockbuster film. But for now, he should like step down from the role. They should just like break ties, understandably. So they've done 2 of those 3 things. I think they should do the third as well, though. And also he's just not a very good actor as the Flash. I'm sorry, Agreed. But that's just my opinion.
Oh, you're correct. I like him as Flash in the Flash movie. Mind you, this comes from a person who didn't like him in general. And it's not for any other reasons that have to do with his personality. It's him playing Barry Allen, the character, which I do not think Ezra did well. But in the Flash, that's his best time being Barry Allen. I thought he was really great in the Flash. But this is what he put out. And I'm assuming based off this, I think Warner Brothers officially cut ties because he couldn't say nothing about this stuff while he was with Warner Brothers. And this whole flashing was happening.
Yeah.
So Ezra says, I'm encouraged by today's outcome and very grateful at this moment to everyone who has stood beside me and sought to ensure that this egregious misuse of the protective order system was halted. Protective orders are meant to provide safety for individuals, families, and children who are in danger. They are not meant to be used as weapons by those seeking attention or fleeting tabloid fame or some sort of personal vengeance when there are people in true and dire need of these services. I've been unjustly and directly targeted by an individual who the facts have shown has a history of such manipulative and destructive actions. I implore those members of the media who have recklessly spread false claims and failed to accurately report the truth and context of the story to hold themselves to a higher standard and take the time to find the facts, rather than chasing the clicks. I don't disagree with that statement. The journalism nowadays, in general, journalism has always had its scummy sides, but everybody is trying to. People are not really trying to report the news like as they should. They want to throw too much of their feelings into it and not report it how you should report it. They will exaggerate some stuff. They will downplay some stuff, but a lot of recent journalism has shown that people are not reporting the news as it should be. When you should report it accurately, fairly, don't put too much of your own feelings into it. Just report the news, tell us what happened, keep it pushing. We don't need to know all that extra stuff. Just be fair about it when you do so. On a personal note, I want everyone to know that I'm continuing to do my best to preserve my own wellness and what I can to reverse the collateral damage this ordeal has brought upon me and those close to me. Finally, to all of you many beings in this world who have had the enormous courage to see me through it all and make it here with me, I'll spend a long time trying to explain to you what it has meant to have your support. You have my undying gratitude, admiration, and love, Ezra. Now, just make it clear, everybody. I don't dislike Ezra, but let me make this clear, Ezra. It's too little, too late now. It's been
and there's some points in that thing where he tries to make it seem like every single thing against him was proven to be false or something, or none of it was he was guilty of, which is not true.
Right.
He's trying to like. There's points of it where it's like he's trying to make himself sound like the victim completely, and it's really odd. But there's for some of most of the messages. I mean, I don't disagree with, but yeah.
Yeah, and look, let me let you guys know the allegations against her that I do not agree with, that are complete bullshit and have been proven to be bullshit. I did my own research into it. The allegation of him abducting the family and the grooming allegations. Those allegations I don't agree with at all. If you look into it, it is not what the media is saying it is. But as far as the incident of grabbing a woman by the neck, right? Cannot agree with that. That is straight up should be a no-no. Some of the stuff he was doing in Hawaii, it was not reported accurately, but some of the stuff he was doing in Hawaii, he legitimately is his fault, right? And I think he went to Hawaii because he was going there for some, funeral or something or whatever. But even if you're going through stuff or grieving, that doesn't give you an excuse to go around and place harm on people, right? Just because I'm going through a rough situation is no excuse for me to lash out and hurt anybody. It's that's no excuse to do so.
Yeah, a lot of the Hawaii stuff is definitely true. I will say though, some of the Hawaii stuff, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard like some of the reasons why he went a little crazy was because the locals there purposely tipped him over the edge and like tried to block him from bars or like piss him off while he was in bars, because it was like it was a certain area that didn't take too kindly to tourists as much. I don't know if that's true or not, though. I haven't really looked into it.
This is BS. Dude had 3 years to explain himself to media. Agreed. Yeah, I had multiple years, a bunch of time to do so, and it's just I'm you guys. I am not a huge fan of the, and just take out the stuff of them being LGBTQ, Caucasian, all that. I just don't like the unfairness here in general. When it comes to this legal stuff, this shit is fucking serious. These are people's lives we are playing with. Take y'all biases out of this shit. Be logical. Be fair. Because, prime example, someone like Emmett Till got killed for shit like this. People not seeking the full truth. Just saying. And just taking out the race shit. Take out the fact that, in the Emmett Till situation, yes, there was racism in it, but Emmett Till is not the only person that has been falsely accused of something and persecuted for it, right?
Yeah, I believe the youngest person who's ever been executed in the U.S. history was a false accusation, some 10-year-old black kid. It's like he wasn't even anywhere near the crime, but they just said he did it because he was in the same area.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm just not a fan of, like, I have biases. Everyone has biases, but as a society, it's going to take years to get this stuff and actually, really teach people to limit their biases. These are times when biases need to go out the window, but everybody's not going to do that. But that's why I'm glad. Even as fucked up as our criminal justice system is in America, I'd rather go through that system than, you know, being judged by the public and regular citizens on if I'm guilty or innocent, because the public does not do research. You know, the people that are actually doing these cases, like I said, some people are in it for different reasons. They get tipped off and paid and might screw some people over. But I'd rather go through that system because it takes time. You need to get evidence. You can get a lawyer who, you know, and you're being judged by people on a jury that are not your peers. There's no biases in it. Sometimes there might be biases. Some people get tipped off, and some people get, even on a jury, you're biased. But still, I'd rather go through that process than being judged by the court of public opinion, because the court of public opinion is fucking trash. Ethnicity tier list. Oh my god.
You know, I'm still waiting. He keeps talking about for like over a year. I'm still waiting for an MSK. Come on now.
You know what? What should I? What should I? Because this motherfucker MSK. Oh my gosh. God. Walter White, get this man. Gosh.
Yeah. Biases everywhere.
Now before we get to, you know, we're gonna revisit this, but let's talk about something fun. So supposedly, let me get it. Supposedly, the MCU Super Skrull will not be using the Fantastic Four abilities like they're supposed to. All right.
I'm not surprised.
So,
are you really that surprised? Because after all
I'm
saw from episode 1.
I didn't even watch Secret Invasion episode 1 yet.
Yeah. Again,
I'm waiting until all the episodes drop.
They pretty much removed like so many things from Secret Invasions and Skrulls and just like made just a very cheap show. And again, I was cool with that because, you know, it looked like it could be like a good, you know, like thriller type show. And with the cast, the cast was absolutely incredible and is used to working on projects like that. But no, it was just uninteresting.
We'll see. And like, I'm gonna tell you, because I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't read Secret Invasion like that, but I'll just tell you, I know this for sure. Secret Invasion involves a lot of the current Marvel heroes and stuff that are being, you know, there's Skrulls in their places that are, you know, taking their identities and using them to infiltrate, you know, governments and stuff, and, you know, just manipulate the world and trick people. Right now, the show Secret Invasion, I have not watched it yet, but they're following the same concept. The director has came out and said that he has not read any Secret Invasion comics. I think you should research the stuff you're working on before you work on it.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, I'm not surprised with who the director is, but yeah, a little disappointed.
Yeah, but the director did come out and say that he didn't even read Secret Invasion comics. But we know one of the Marvel producers, Nate Moore, has spoken out and said they don't hire anyone that's like really a fan of this stuff or even research this stuff. They just they want people they want to get writers and directors to go in blind to this stuff when they're doing it. And okay, I guess, but I still believe in general you should research anything before you attempt it. Hell, when I interned in IT support, right? Everyone I worked with did not know everything, but before they worked on something, they definitely did some researching. Like, for example, if someone needed to get reference on how to, you know, get inside of a computer again and take out a certain part, they would go on YouTube, look at someone else that did it, you know, study it, and then do it before attempting to blindly open up this computer without doing any research on how to open up a computer. You know, that's you should just do research on anything before you try to attempt it. You can't fix a car if you don't know how to, if you don't research into fixing a car. It's stupid. You know,
they definitely didn't hire the director to figure it out because he's really done like nothing. I don't understand how he got hired, but like some of the producers on this are actually better. They've done like episodes of like Mr. Robot and such. He has like done literally nothing.
Yeah, that's what blows my mind sometimes about these recent producers on this stuff. They're like they'll get producers, they'll have people producing the show that, you know, have, you know, a better resume, but get actual directors that are like super fresh into this stuff.
Like the
Now, I'm
main
not saying
producer,
you.
I'm pretty sure did a bunch of those.
Let me see. Now, and I'm not saying new people cannot get work. I do want to see new, actors and stuff getting work. Like the new guy playing Superman, David Corenswet. He hasn't been acting that long, but he's very new. He's very fresh, and he's going to be playing Superman. He does not have a resume like a Samuel Jackson, but he's getting a chance, and he might do very good as Superman. I don't know if he will, but I have a feeling he will. But he's a fresh new actor out here that's being given a chance. Tony said, Cole, how was that trip to Tokyo? You went to Tokyo? Cole. And he's gone, guys. They should hire comic book fans, though. I want to say comic book fans, they should. Better yet, Sonic Warrior, they should hire actual comic writers to come in and write this stuff. Just saying. They should hire comic writers of these companies to come in and write their stuff for them. But for some reason, they don't want to pay those writers and stuff to come do that because legal reasons and whatnot, and they just don't want to pay them the money they deserve anyways. I don't think the WandaVision director at House of M. Yeah, she's with the person who directed WandaVision. The show had a lot of elements from House of M, but she didn't read House of M. That's one of the confusing things about it. Like the show has House of M elements, but you didn't read House of M. So how are you putting House of M elements into WandaVision and you didn't read House of M? That doesn't make any sense. That's why I say some of these directors for these studios are not really directing the products like we think they are, or the writers are not really writing like we think they are. Because I think there's more stuff at play. That's why when these Marvel Studios, like when Sam Raimi directed Multiverse of Madness, I like some elements of Multiverse of Madness, but I don't place the full blame of Multiverse of Madness on Sam Raimi because I don't think Sam Raimi had the full control to really direct
the
it.
stuff that was completely his control was the best. And also, damn, this Costa Rican internet, fucking hell.
Right, because it's. I'm not trying to say it. There is some like James Gunn when he directed his Guardians movies. There's definite passion in it. You can tell he has control over that stuff. But when you see something like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, that feels like it's a studio, it's a studio mandated movie. This is what it feels like. It doesn't feel like the director's movie. It feels like the studio's movie that has to check all the notes. So for it to be a appealing blockbuster to, the audience. This is why there's a writer's strike. I'm hearing rumors that there's going to be a potential actor strike and director strike soon, which I think there should be. I think this whole industry needs to change because these recent films that have been failing in the box office and stuff. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Cole, but have you seen the recent budget that was released for Indiana Jones?
Oh yeah, and that's definitely gonna bomb. Holy.
That's just like 300 fucking. It's pretty much 300 million for an Indiana Jones movie, right? Yeah. That is insane. I'm not saying Indiana Jones
for the number of days on set though, because he kept getting injured.
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying Indiana Jones does not deserve to get any money in it to really make the film pop. But 300 million in an Indiana Jones movie, that is too much money into an Indiana Jones movie. You and Maddie will be married with kids when MSK finally gets Superman Lois. Man, MSK. He ain't been watching good TV recently. He's over here skipping out on Superman and Lois.
Hasn't been watching good movies recently either. He's just been, I don't know.
Facts. He's been sucking off that Transformers movie.
Yeah, that's all.
Anything not in production now isn't making it to their 2024 date until that strike is finished. Yeah, because Captain America New World Order recently just wrapped filming. So, and it didn't start filming not that long ago. It literally
Yeah.
started filming this year, and it just wrapped filming today.
Yeah. Well,
So
let's say that's a. We'll see if it had any effect on it, but I would say it's at least a good thing they got that film finished before the strike really took into effect with
I
their
think
future
I need to
projects.
see when did Captain America Brave New World start filming? Because it literally just started filming this year. I'm shocked they finished it this quick. Filming took place from. Okay, so they started filming in March. What's an average time a movie takes to film? Average time a big budget blockbuster takes to film. Okay. Between summing up all time, average time to make movies being 1 and 2.5 years. How long does it take? I don't know. It's something weird about that. It's kind of short. It started filming in March, and now it's done in June. I think that strike probably had a definite effect on this because that's kind of quick. They just filmed a big budget, $200 something million movie in like 2 months. Not saying that's bad, but that sounds kind of iffy.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so this is the article about the Super Skrulls not using Fantastic Four powers. Now, this is why I say this show, not saying the show cannot be good, even with what it is, but you're taking a concept like Secret Invasion, and this is where the show is already messing up at, because I know we're not going to see all these characters. Where's Captain America? Where's the current Marvel heroes at? Because I know Sam Wilson isn't showing up. Kamala Khan's not showing up. Captain Marvel she might show up, but you're not going to have the whole Marvel universe heroes in the show. That's it's too expensive. They can't afford all them actors like that. They're definitely saving all that for Secret Invasion to do this big collaboration. This just a super downgraded story of a much bigger story that, in my opinion, needs to be bigger. This story, they turned a big scale story into a small scale thing, very small. And I don't know. I don't think the show is not going to really reflect what it should be. I'm not saying it needs to be exactly like the comics, because all the current comic characters are not in the current MCU, but you can take all the current MCU heroes and put them in the Secret Invasion stuff and use them. And I think they made Secret Invasion too soon anyways. Like, you don't even have your Fantastic Four here yet, and you're already doing Super Skrulls. And you're doing the Super Skrull without the Fantastic Four powers. Like, come on now. Not saying it needs to be fully comic accurate, but you can at least give the Super Skrull his powers like he's supposed to have them. Just saying. That should be simple. Marvel Comics features a few different versions of the Super Skrull, an enhanced version of the aliens found in Secret Invasion. The most notable version of Marvel Super Skrull is the one who possesses the combined superpowers of the entire Fantastic Four. Modern comics will bring us more versions of the Super Skrull, but for years, when the Marvel comic fans thought Super Skrull, only one version came to mind. The Marvel Cinematic Universe version of the Skrulls are a focal point of the Disney Plus series Secret Invasion, and now the series has confirmed a major way the MCU Super Skrull will be very different. With no Fantastic Four in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet, the Skrulls do not have the power set to draw from and to create their Super Skrulls. Secret Invasion Episode 2, however, is quick to answer the question of which characters they're pulling from to make their own upgrade. In the episode, it's revealed that the Skrull leader Gravik has collected genetic material from a few different MCU characters, including Groot, Cole Obsidian, an Extremist Soldier from Iron Man 3, and the Frost Beast from Thor 1. These combined powers will, however, have very similar uses to what the Super Skrull was capable of when it used the Fantastic Four abilities. Groot's uncanny ability to stretch and Katura's plant lives is reminiscent of Mr. Fantastic stretchiness. The Cole Obsidian DNA is similar to Ben Grimm. the Extremist Soldier abilities are connected to Johnny Storm, and the Frostbeast DNA is being connected to Sue Storm. But I don't see the connection
Yeah.
between the two.
Again, though, it's like even if for what this is, this could have been super good because of the material resources and the cast they had, especially the actors like Kingsley. But it's just with what I've seen so far, it hasn't been good. And honestly, this feels like something that would have been better if it was done in animation. Would have been a lot easier to do and better.
Yeah, I I even think MCU should just animated this, or instead put these into it like a trilogy of its own set movies itself. Secret Invasion, the trilogy, and so you can put more money into it and actually pay these heroes, these other actors like Kamala Khan and all of them to come in and be a part of it, to do a proper Secret Invasion with the heroes and all that. It's MCU fans are going to eat it up. They're going to enjoy it, and that's fine. I like a lot of stuff in DC, and a lot of it isn't comic accurate, but I still think at least you can make the powers accurate. You could have at least waited until you got your Fantastic Four movie out before doing Secret Invasion. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Let's say, you guys, the MCU's plans are not set and really thought out like we think they are. This shit is literally like made up on the spot as they go. It changes as they go. This shit is not planned out.
And I hope James Gunn sees this and doesn't make the same mistake.
I mean, he shouldn't, because DC has all their characters as they should. Marvel now has a Fantastic Four. They can't use them until 2025 because of the Fox situation. And even in Deadpool 3, they can't bring in a new Wolverine and stuff. They have to use Hugh Jackman until I think 2026, and then they can recast the Wolverine. I get it. They want to they want to do this stuff now, but you can throw other stuff in between that doesn't require a link to Fantastic Four X-Men characters. Because they already made Kamala Khan a mutant, and they can't even use the X-Men characters they want to because of the merger. Like, you're already introducing mutants, and you don't have your mutants here yet to use. Like, why? Why introduce the mutants now, and you can't use the X-Men yet until 2026 or 2025? I think that's just silly. Could have just waited, filled it in with something else. Hell, release a fucking Squirrel Girl movie or some shit.
Yeah, I'll take that at this point. But I mean, they've been rushing with some stuff. Like, again, what was the God? There was this one thing they really rushed that really kind of made me angry. I'm trying to think of like what it was again, but I don't know if I can remember. I think it had something to do. Right, it's pretty much just the entire character of Hulk. They rushed him and didn't do anything with him. It's just so weird. Now it's like there's only one thing that can save him, like whatever World War Hulk or whatever it's called. It's just so terrible, but whatever.
No, I agree. I think they definitely rushed over Hulk's plot and fucked that shit over. Like, they already introduced his son, and they just skipped past the whole process of how that's made. Like, you have to do Planet Hulk in between that time to set up his son and stuff, and get him married to his wife Kyra and stuff, and make him king of the planet he liberates. And they literally just introduced his son and skipped over all the stuff that you need to develop in order to do that. Like,
yeah, I mean, do you think they'll make a prequel of some sorts to it?
Nah, I think they're just gonna skip straight to that World War Hulk story and do it very different. I don't think they're gonna try to revisit Planet Hulk and do a prequel movie about it.
Yeah, I will say though, if they ever wanted a new actor for the Hulk or he didn't want to play him anymore, I'm just saying I wouldn't be opposed to them recasting again, since they already did it once, and Hulk's that type of character where I don't think too many people will mind if they recast him more.
Yeah, I think I honestly, yeah, I mean, if they do have to recast Mark Ruffalo at some point, I don't know how old the dude is, but
I just think he's the type of character people won't mind as much, and they already did it once, so why not?
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo's like 55. I mean, I don't see him constantly doing Hulk for as this long, you know.
Yeah, at the same time, though, I mean, doesn't need to do much, but whatever.
Finally caught a KDOT stream. Was good, Vishan. It's good to see you. Have not seen you in a while, but it is good to have you here. Yeah, well, we was talking about Ezra Miller earlier, and real quick, this is not going to be a long topic at all. This is going to be a very quick one. Because I am not going to make a subscription to read this bullshit by Rolling Stone. So Rolling Stone put out an article. If you guys want to make a subscription to Rolling Stone, but this is why I'm not taking the article serious, because they're literally putting it behind a little subscription service and a paywall just for me to read a fucking article about Jonathan Majors supposedly, abusing people in the past. Let me grab it.
Yeah, I'm not reading that shit. You should just all insert like that meme. I ain't reading all that. I'm happy for you though. Yeah, happy for you though. Or sorry it happened.
All right, so let me show everybody. So this is the article. So we saw it was a couple months back. Somebody at Yale came out and said that Jonathan Majors has supposedly been abusive in the past and stuff, and none of this stuff is new, blah, 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 all that, right? So Rolling Stones is talking about during a 3-month investigation, Rolling Stone spoke with dozens of people whose stories suggest a pattern of alleged physical, mental, and emotional abuse that dates back a decade.
Yeah, but they're all just like anonymous allegations or just non-credible stuff. It's like just like that filmmaker. It's like God, and that incident really pissed me off, but I'll get into it later.
So I'm gonna click on this article real quick, guys, and I'm not really gonna read this because you need to make a subscription service. This is why I'm not taking this recent stuff serious. Not saying Jonathan Majors is fully innocent or fully guilty, but I can't take this serious because it's very convenient. This came out the day after he brings out more evidence that proves his innocence.
Well, again, what they're doing, K-Dots, is they're just repeating what people already said like a little while ago without full proof, but they're just bringing it up again to try to like get it start a fire again with the fucking cancel culture instead of just waiting for everything to play out after some stuff came out with him that he might be more innocent now.
Yeah, he responded, Vishan. I'll show you guys again what he responded to. So yeah, this is the article, and if they want me to read the full story, I need to subscribe and log in. Look, Variety doesn't ask me to subscribe or log in to read some fucking articles, and they really think I'm gonna fucking sit here and make a subscription and do that shit? No. So yeah, guys, this isn't really a topic, but it's just I can't take these allegations and stuff, these random allegations from these no-name people serious if they're not coming out to specifically say who they are, what happened, blah, blah, blah. It's just alleged shit that needs more evidence behind it for me to give an opinion.
And a lot of people who came out, there hasn't been any confirmed like connections that they actually worked on any stuff with Majors.
Right. Yeah, because Majors didn't really start. I mean, I think he did plays before, but his first like official acting debut was The Last Black Man in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, there was like smaller stuff before that, but that was the one that really like had his career take off. Yep, saw that stuff and saw that in theaters, and goddamn, I was like, this guy's a star. Give him everything. Then fast forward now, I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, luckily, yeah. And again, like I said this before, like it's just devastating nonetheless. Because if he's guilty, he's guilty. But if he's not, it's still devastating because this has put a halt on his like. He was on such a high trajectory, and now it's just because of this. Even if he's proven innocent, it still derailed him a bit.
Yeah, he's still screwed regardless. Even if he
not totally screwed, and there are a lot of people, who are like aren't going to let this go easily this time. This situation with him, since which is nice. So he'll be all right if he's proven innocent, but no, he won't
Well,
be on.
it's gonna take years for him to bounce back. He
Yeah.
might have to go the route of going back to getting like indie work and stuff here and there, just to survive as an actor and get a chance to get back in big budget stuff. Same thing happened with Brendan Fraser. He called out that person who assaulted him, and we saw what happened to his career. RDJ, he was doing some shit, doing drugs, getting into constant trouble.
Yeah.
And he was able to get a redemption with the public doing Iron Man and staying out of trouble for those 10 years.
And then there was, Jennifer Lawrence is doing it right now. And then also, remember Shia LaBeouf also did, and he did a fantastic job at it. He was incredible in Honey Boy and other films like
Then he fucking derailed himself again.
Yeah, again, it's like he was literally becoming like one of the best American actors right now. Him and Robert Pattinson, and then actually I don't know if Robert Pattinson's American, but anyway, you know what I mean. But and then and then he did it again right after. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, one fucking job, and he fucked up.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think it will be as bad for him though. I think it'll be a lot easier for him. I feel it, but it might not even be like much at all. But nonetheless, it's gonna at the very least, derailed like his trajectory, like the hype, like his growth now and popularity growth has been stunted now. So nonetheless, that's gonna still stick, which sucks. But because I really think he was like one of the best actors, and is one of the best actors in Hollywood right now coming up. So,
yep. And I mean, I didn't get pulled into majors until Lovecraft Country. Thought he did really great in that show. I wish it got a season 2.
Did you see the A24 film Last Black Man?
I actually never seen that. I need to watch that.
Yeah, you need to. Like, that was the first one that really, and he was incredible. Him and I believe it was like I forgot his name. His co-star.
Was it Mahershala Ali in it?
No. Let's see. It was okay. Yeah, I was just double checking, but yeah, Jimmy Fails. He's a bit newer, but yeah, and also Danny Glover was in it, which is nice. But yeah, and also the director of that. The next thing he's doing is some like R-rated romance type film with 3 actresses, which is very weird. But with A24, but hey, it has the
Isn't that the new film he's doing? Paper. There's one where he's playing a bodybuilder or something.
Majors or
Majors. Is
I think so, but
Hotel Warren police question me and they're longing for Ming Lee.
Oh yeah. So the director of that film's next film is like an R-rated romance film. It's gonna have Lily Rose Depp, the lead actress who's in The Worst Person in the World, and then the one girl from Squid Game. So hey, I'm sure Kate also checked that out.
The girl from Squid Game.
Yeah, the guy who did Last Black Man of San Francisco. That's his next thing for A24. It's going to be her, Lily Rose Depp, and one other in like a rated R, I believe, romance type film.
I might check that out. The girl from Squid Games was hot.
Yep.
Bro said, why did they wait until now to say something? That's what gets me about the major allegations. Yeah, and mind, just very common that a lot of people wait, because a lot of people wait. Sometimes those people actually do come out being correct.
Yeah.
But I would
50-50.
Yeah, it's like 50-50. I still question it regardless, because even then, there's always question. I wonder what the motivation is, because your motivation should be to try and get this person locked up and get them off the street so they're not harming anybody.
You have to think of this in this mindset though. Like, let's say just that one guy was telling the truth. He's like he's like barely even a filmmaker. He's like extremely small. All right. Like, do you think even if he like kept talking about it, and he had like proof. It's like I doubt anything would happen, or people would like listen to him until something like this happens, and then you say it. Like think of another thing, for example, like there's been many times YouTubers and other people have gotten exposed for some stuff, and we knew about it for ages and said it, just like you and certain people. Did anybody actually listen to you though? No, not until other stuff happened. Then they started to more, right? That's just what happens. So so I'm not saying like they're lying all the time, but it is definitely 50-50 at least. And I mean, especially in this
Oh, you're talking about
scenario.
the with the I don't want to say their names, but
I'm not saying any of their names, but you know what I mean.
the chubby black dude and white guy.
Yeah, the guy
Okay,
who,
yeah, okay, yeah.
the guy who lives in just a one-story apartment with like 8 fridges.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you make I don't want to say their names because I moved on from that stuff.
And again, this is just like the Ezra Miller situation. Like the biases on each side. Like again, and this is also for both sides. So like there are, and I have to say though, props to everybody around this community, like Chill and you. Props to all you for being unbiased and amazing with this. All right, but there are so many people, like especially, I'm not gonna say his name, but this one YouTuber with like 30,000 subs. Oh my God, there are so many biased people.
I think people are talking about. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm trying to. I think I know who you're talking about.
I don't know. It's just they immediately.
He's like a comic channel, not like, but a comic book movie channel.
Sort of, but yeah, there's been so many where it's like immediately when the thing first broke, they started dick riding majors and like bringing up like stereotyping the situation, like these fucking white women bringing down these black men. It's like, yeah, and now even if this stuff gets proven in the end, you're still a bitch and you're just as bad as the people making up all this shit about majors. And then all the people making stuff about majors. Oh my God, you're also clowns as well, of course, and especially that filmmaker. Like, here's the thing that really pissed me off with like what that guy did, and I'm not saying his name, but we all know who he is. Chill talks about him all the time. All right, because here's the thing: Twitter is like they have a diploma in being losers and getting their ways out of situations. So what he did was he made sure not to say. He like joined in on the witch hunt and made up lies. I'm pretty sure, but as well, alleged lies, but it's pretty much confirmed at this point, probably. But he made sure that to not make it seem like he was saying 100% that he was guilty. So then people won't attack him, but while still doing it. But then also, his whole thing was he was saying like past incidents, and even though they could be completely made up and completely false. We have no evidence that they're false either. And there were also past incidents on not this one. So he has a backup plan. So if Majors gets a non-guilty verdict in court, he can just say, well, no, I was talking about the past incidents. So do you have any proof that, those are lies? It's like, and this is what Twitter does all the time. They'll talk. This is what they do. So then they just hate on somebody, but then have like a loophole to get out of it, and it's such a cowardly thing they do, especially that guy. And then he gained a bunch of followers from it. It's so stupid.
Because it's like this, exactly what you're talking about. Because people have done this before, right? People are doing it right now. There's people saying that they'd rather just outright believe the victim first, instead of trying to believe the person who's accused, because they'd rather be correct about believing the victim and not believing the person that actually.
It's ridiculous. This is literally like the
they don't want to blame
argument.
the victim, right? Because they don't want to do the play. They don't want to blame the victim. They don't want to do the blame the victim thing, right?
And it's incredible. It's like they think there's only 2 options. It's like the caveman thing. I either stand there or I smash. It's like, no, you have multiple options. You could just not do anything and wait.
Right. You just not do anything. You could just wait. Because there's no harm in waiting. because if we jump the gun now and I say he's innocent or I say he's guilty and I end up being wrong regardless, I'm gonna look like a dummy.
Yeah. Hey, well, listen.
And
Can we
I'd rather
cast?
not look like a dummy in this matter and just wait
Yeah, but hey,
on
hold on,
it.
K-Dots, can we, if we make a film based off of this situation, can we cast the girl as Amber Heard?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I mean, Amber's not that bad. What's up, Hanzo?
What's going on? You're onto the Jonathan Major stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we threw the Ezra stuff into it too because we talked about that earlier. I mean, if you want to talk about that, it's also mixed with this because I basically wanted to make both these topics one big thing together because today, as I'm noticing, and I said this, I've seen it on Twitter, there's a lot of people that we know, there are mutuals and people that I just follow in general that is showing a lot more sympathy to Ezra after Ezra waited so long to finally speak up. We know due to legal stuff, they couldn't really say nothing, but still, when the first situation happened, we saw Ezra on camera choking that girl. He could have totally said something then and went like, yo, it's not what you guys think. We was joking around, blah, blah, blah. Or, it actually is what it is. He didn't say nothing.
Facts.
Nothing. Got away with it. Choked a woman on camera and got away with it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Majors is being accused of the mess of assaulting a woman. Mind you, we caught Ezra on camera. We don't know what Jonathan has done on camera yet. We'll see that footage at some point. But this man in on camera assaulted a woman is not getting scrutinized the same way Majors is for the same type of situation. They both physically harmed women.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Majors is alleged. We saw Ezra on camera do what the fuck he did.
But wait,
And
is
he's
there
not
any?
getting attacked as
Hold
hard.
on, K-Dots, is there any smoke though with Ezra? That's the big question.
Yeah.
Well, there should have been smoke. The problem is a lot of people just, when they heard, oh, well, this director came out and said he was problematic. Oh, no, there's smoke there. There's got to be some truth
A
to
director
it, right?
did like 2 short films.
now we have Jonathan Majors coming out giving insider, and that's why I like that article, the first one, is because they actually said they've seen the evidence, right? And they said by the looks of the evidence, it doesn't look like what the situation is. And all of a sudden, 10 o'clock at night, we get this article where there's anonymous sources, but we can't say their names. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, and also, I not sure. Well, I have it right here. Not sure if Fonzo tried to click on it and read it, but it's hidden behind a little subscription thing.
Yay.
So let's still subscribe to read this shit.
Well,
And
you want to hear the thing? I have it, and I don't have to subscribe. I have the whole article right in front of me.
Oh, if you can bring it up, because I'm not subscribing to this shit just to read some allegations that aren't really there.
Absolutely, I can bring it up. Hold on.
I have a question. Y'all think the Flash failed because of allegations about Ezra? For me, I think that's cat. It's definitely a part of it. I think it's a huge part of it.
Yeah,
I did not think the allegations would affect it, but let me tell you guys why I think they did. I'm going, TikTok is just one of the platforms I go to, but I'm on TikTok, right? I go to the comments of people talking about the Flash. They cannot stop mentioning the shit Ezra did. Everyone's either calling Ezra Reverse Flash, saying, the usual stuff relating to his crimes. Like, oh shoot, hopefully Ezra, when Ezra's running in the Flash, he's actually chasing those Hawaiians. Like, I can't help but not see it on TikTok because people keep mentioning it. That stuff has affected the movie. People keep mentioning it and talking about it. That's why they couldn't even put his ass on the red carpet, because you can. The people want to ask questions like, why'd you choke the girl? It's
right. It takes away from the movie. And I agree with you that it does have something to do with it. But I also think
it's not the sole reason,
right,
but it is a huge part of it. That's 100%. Why I think Amber Heard might just hurt Aquaman too. If Ezra did this, mind you, he's in the lead role, Amber's not. I think Amber might affect Aquaman.
It's been so long though, and do you think how much do you think will hurt Aquaman too?
Amber's in a side role. I think if they can get away with not showing her in the trailers, which they probably could, because
don't
she's not.
Don't put her on the poster.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because actually, she's not leading the movie. It's her and it's Jason and Orm. So it's Aquaman and his brother from the first movie that's leading the movie. They're supposed to be working together on something.
And if you cut down her performance to like a minimum of what you can do, where she's only in like, let's say 20 minutes of the movie, then I think people will be able to be like,
I'm pretty sure they said they did that, cut it to 15 minutes.
I agree too. I think they did too. But this is the article, guys, right here.
Got it. I'll go ahead and read it. Jonathan Majors was a Hollywood star and on the cusp of going supernova. The Last Black Man in San Francisco first brought him critical acclaim.
Yeah.
Lovecraft Country, The Harder They Fall, and Creed 3. Harder They Fall is good movie, underrated.
Very.
Propelled his popularity, and most recently, early buzz for his upcoming film Magazine Dreams and his recurring King the Conqueror character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe were set to make him a household name.
Incredible in that.
King sucked in Ant-Man 3. Facts. No.
Yeah, you know.
Jonathan Major was great. They did take dirty in Ant-Man 3.
Listen, the film sucked, but he was so amazing in it. And I love how they say. No, hold on. Go back to the top for a second. I love how they say was a Hollywood star.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You know what? And I never realized that. Yeah, Jonathan Majors was, and the was is in capitals too. Look at this shit. He is.
Right. They're already counting them out before the case is even over with.
Unbelievable.
But lately, most headlines about Majors have been involving a messy domestic violence case. In March, Majors was arrested for allegedly attacking a girlfriend, and this week, the New York Post and Times both reported that the New York Police Department has alerted officers that there is probable cause to arrest Majors' accuser as well. The criminal case against Majors remains open, and the allegations threaten to upend his career. The first public stain on an otherwise unblemished reputation in dozens of new interviews with Rolling Stone. However, those who have known Majors over the past decade claim he has a history of abusive behavior. During this 3-month investigation, Rolling Stone spoke with more than 40 people who have known Majors during his time in graduate school, his Hollywood career, and his romantic relationships. Many describe Majors as being a complicated, unpredictable, and sometimes violent man. So as they talk to 40 people, guys, 40 people. Sometimes violent man who can switch from charming to cold in a flash. All the sources from this article requested anonymity, citing fear of career repercussions and personal retribution from Majors. Some claim they were prohibited from speaking. My only response can be that I'm silenced by an NDA he had me sign, says one person who worked with Majors. So the people supposedly speaking out are from his time in graduate school, his Hollywood career, and romantic relationships.
Right. And this is the biggest part, though, right? All of the sources for this article requested anonymity, right? So my thing is this. If you're going to make these claims, you got to put out names, right?
Right.
We don't know if these people you spoke to are real. We don't know how close they were to Jonathan Majors. You can say that there were a bunch of people who were close to Jonathan Majors and they're speaking out, but who are they?
Yeah, and also, what does that? Again, they do this stuff a lot. It's like, okay, even if that, like, also, I think the second part right here, talks about, like, again, Yale, school drama, physical altercations. It's like, okay, whether that's true or not, I will say, I mean, it was a while ago. People change, and what does it have to do with this specific case?
Facts.
Like, and this is what they do a lot with everybody. It's like there could be somebody, like I remember an instance where there was somebody who, a lot of people consider a really bad person. I believe he's like 88 now. Like, I think he even like molested his sister one time when she was like 14 and stuff. And they tried pinning him for this murder case, and then he was sentenced to life at one point, but then unsentenced after new information, and they did all that stuff because he was such a horrible person, which is true, but he's still, with the facts proven, he didn't do it, and so then that's the issue I have with a lot of things. It's like it's like even if this is true, like it doesn't. It doesn't have to do with the case at hand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? Because look, if Majors is innocent, ends up being innocent of this stuff, right? It's not to say that if this is true, the past stuff is completely he's absolved, but that does not change the fact that for this current thing he's supposedly being accused of, he's innocent of.
Absolutely.
And really, what does this other stuff? I get if they're trying to find a pattern or whatever, but at the moment, the girl who's accusing Majors is literally backtracking on her statements and stuff. And she's not being a very reliable source in this situation. So what are they really trying to prove at this point?
And this is a pattern that they do to us all the time, right? They always try to find something in our past to say, well, they were violent in their past, so this is why this is happening. You know what I mean? Right. They did it with George Floyd. Like, regardless of what you think, because we know what a lot of people think, but he was, whatever he did in his past had nothing to do with that day. He did not need to be bringing up his past because you want to make him look like a bad guy. And that's exactly what they're doing with Jonathan Majors right now. They're trying everything they can to make him look like the bad guy.
Yeah, because that's the thing, like, for example, the George Floyd situation. Okay, just because some people brought up that the fact that he did like porn in his past and stuff. Like, what does him doing porn in his past have to do with some dude putting his knee on his back, keeping him from, breathing and stuff and getting proper circulation? He's saying he can't breathe, and they're ignoring his cries. And guess what? He ends up dying and pissing himself. And the guy still has his knee on his back. Is like, regardless, you did not need to kill him that day. You there was no reason to. There was no reason to.
100%.
You're supposed to. Your goal as a police officer, I assume, is to keep people from dying, not trying to cause more people to die.
And you can't tell me that it's a coincidence that this article comes out right after an article that shows all of the things that counteract some of the stuff that she was saying, right? And people always say this all the time, right? Oh, well, if you're going to do this, bring out the evidence. Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Well, now you're going to make an article with anonymous sources, but no evidence. And we're supposed to just take that and be like, no, you're correct. You're right. He did do that. Like, get out of here with that. You know what I mean?
As if there's evidence, okay, and cool, but we need to see some evidence.
100%. 100%. You can't,
because that's why in this case with Majors, why I'm leaning more towards him being innocent, because he's showing more evidence that proves his innocence more than the other side that believes.
But wait, does he have the smoke though? That's the real question.
Well, I mean, it's the smoke against him. That's the problem, right? Because anytime something little comes out about him, oh, you see, guys, there's smoke. That's where it is. There's a fire there. There has to be something.
Yeah, come on,
when we get the other way around, exactly. Because when we get the other way around, it's crickets.
Right.
You know what I mean? No one says nothing. So.
All right. Let's get to the rest of this. I know there's more to it. Jonathan Majors vehemently denies Rolling Stones. Wait. Yeah, I already read the top part.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors vehemently denies Rolling Stone's false allegations that he physically, verbally, or emotionally abused anyone, let alone any of his past romantic partners. Majors' attorney, Dustin A. Poosh, wrote in a statement, these allegations are based entirely on hearsay because neither of the romantic partners referenced were willing to engage with Rolling Stone for the article, demonstrating their outright falsity. Poosh added that Majors also denies any allegations of abuse, violence, or intimidation during his time at Yale. And that's the thing, right? I'm still currently in college and stuff. A lot of us, some people went to college, but it's just a school thing in general. It's not saying that Majors didn't know a lot of people or have friends there and stuff, but like you're saying, you got all these people, especially at his time in Yale, that supposedly were close to him and know him. Like, I'm not saying he didn't have any friends or knew a lot of people, but that's the thing. How well do these people know him?
Facts. 100%.
Right? Was it people that just was sitting in class with him and he sat in a corner and saw?
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely. Like that happens a lot. It's like they're just sitting in the same classroom as him, and it's like he has just like a small temper issue one time, and then they'll bring this up.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I think that's why I'm not saying Majors hasn't probably got mad at some point during his time at Yale. You know, college is a stressful place. I guarantee someone looked at that. Sometimes people will be looking at something and they might exaggerate about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and go like, "Oh, that person's an asshole. He's so rude." Like, you know, you might see somebody one day in class just throw a pencil at the wall or something. That is kind of wild, but. Someone just throw a pencil at the wall.
Or it's even possible that he had maybe a disagreement with somebody, right? But now that somebody is like, oh, you know what? He's a this and he's a that because that was my experience with him. So he has to be that. You know what I mean? Like it happens.
Because sometimes people take situations that aren't what they appear to be and make them out to be something else. Because everybody does not react to the same stuff the same way or perceive stuff the same as each other, because they're going to take a situation and make it something entirely it's not.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe he does like have issues like that, and like, you know, like and it's hard to work with. Like I know Bill Murray had a lot of altercations and has, you know, a lot of issues like that, but you know, it doesn't make him an abuser, does it? It doesn't confirm that.
Right. And we have a video of Tom Cruise running around there during COVID yelling at people and stuff. Is he an abuser? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it reminds me of like the Tobey Maguire clips as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I actually did agree with what Tom was saying on the set though, because like, you know, hey, we trying to get this movie done. Either you know,
100%, I agreed with him, but you'll have people in there who are sensitive, right? And say, "Oh no, he abused me. You see the way he talked to us? He's an abuser." But
that's the thing. Someone would take that situation and call it abusive. You know, in my opinion, from what I saw and what we saw, I don't think it was abusive. But someone could absolutely, in that situation, say what Tom did was abusive. Yeah, he came off kind of very blunt and mean about it, but you know, we're in a situation where, you know, you can potentially get sick easily and catch this thing called COVID and die. And people are not taking this situation as serious as they should and doing the proper, you know, precautions that's going to help suppress it.
Yeah.
So real quick, and just an example of what Anzo was talking about. So not sure if you guys watch Wild and Out, but this person right here on the right, DC Youngfly, he's a comedian on the show, and Azalea Banks is a singer, and was a guest on it. They have a bit where they roast each other. It's called Wild Style. Now DC Youngfly roasted her, right, and she took it as a personal attack that, you know, he was attacking her and slandering her. But the purpose of the situation of this little game is that you're supposed to roast each other, and you know, you're supposed to rap and roast each other. He roasted her. She took it personal, while everybody else in the audience and most of the media took it as it's literally a roast session. That's the point of the thing. It's no personal attacks. It's part of the show. It's a roast session. It's for comedy. And she took it as a personal attack that he was attacking her, you know, for her personality and all that and everything. When it's not, that is not what it was. It's a roast. It's a rap battle roast. It's for comedy. That's the whole point of the show. You know, why would you come onto the show knowing you can't handle comedy and these jokes and you get offended? Right.
Absolutely.
But some people are like that. They will take a situation that is not what it is and make it something else. And this person here on the left, Azalea Banks, did that when the person on the right here who was doing the jokes is not attacking them for their identity or whatever. They're just, you know, roasting them like they would roast anybody else that was a guest on the show.
Absolutely. And let me just say this, because William Moloch, you make a good point. He says Majors broke into my house and forced me to sign an NDA against my will. That's exactly it. Non-disclosure agreement, which means both parties have to agree, right? So you
Yep.
sign that. You sign that. Like, come on, man.
Right. Unless Jonathan had a gun to your head forcing you to sign it, okay, then that's a different thing. But you have to
Exactly.
willingly sign an NDA
Facts.
to agree with it. You can't force anybody to sign an NDA. And even
Facts.
when you get an NDA, you can't even really discuss the fact that there's an NDA, because that's the point of the NDA. You can't even talk about it. So that's kind of a breach of the NDA that you willingly signed.
Exactly.
That's why I recommend people read contracts that you sign before you sign them, or you're gonna sign your life away. Most seriously, more than a dozen sources collectively claim to Rolling Stone that Majors allegedly abused two romantic partners, one physically, both of them emotionally. It was pervasively known that he was a good actor and that he would also terrorize the people that he had dated, one of the sources said. Majors allegedly strangled one woman he was dating and was mentally and emotionally abusive with her, 9 of those sources claim. The second woman allegedly told friends that her relationship with Majors was emotional torture. Those who are friends of the women or were present during the relationship with Majors independently corroborated details of the alleged abuse. Throughout conversation with Rolling Stone, they described feeling alarmed by what they witnessed at the time or what they were told by the women. Now, when it comes to relationship stuff, I really need to hear both sides, because you can't. It's not to say that some stuff is one-sided and one person is very abusive in a relationship and it's only one-sided, but I need to hear both sides, because some stuff don't be what they make it out to be in relationships.
Yeah.
Because it could be the other way around. Jonathan could be the one that was the actual victim in the relationship, and the girls could have been the ones that was abusive. Or it can just be a case that it's just a big miscommunication, and it's exactly not what it's made out to be with their relationship. Because that's how stuff happens with these relationships. There'll be a lot of miscommunication, and shit just hits the fan from there due to some miscommunication in general.
And let me say this, because right now we already know that they're trying to bring this man down or whatever. So the people that are sitting there saying that they don't want to talk because of retribution or what Jonathan Majors might do or their career, I mean, if Jonathan Majors is convicted and found guilty, then you're a hero. You helped get this abuser off the street. You know what I mean? No one's going to be looking at you to try and take away your career, because they got what they needed to get. So the people them saying
right now, there's more people against Jonathan than who's with him. Not even Hollywood. Anthony Mackie is the only person that came out and backed him up. He's the only person from Hollywood in the Hollywood circle that has backed him up. Only Anthony Mackie. Kevin Feige hasn't even said shit to defend Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm in agreement, but in a little defense, I mean, that does happen a lot though too. Like, even if even in situations like these, like I remember that one female who was pretty much like the first person to, like, with 100% proof, like irrefutable, expose Harvey Weinstein, but then they still made up the media and, like, Harvey's assistants and stuff. They'll, like, made up stuff and reports to then make her look like the villain and keep him safe for a few more years. And it pretty much ruined her entire reputation and career even to this day. So, I mean, there's a chance there's people. So I can understand that fear, but I mean, I don't think this is really in the same realm, though. Like,
right, because we're talking about an actor. Right, we're not talking about Harvey Weinstein. Was huge in Hollywood, right? Producer, made a lot of money for them.
And this is the time to do it. This is the perfect time to do it if he was really guilty.
Right, we're talking about an actor. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, let's not conflate the two. There's actors, and he is nowhere as big as Harvey Weinstein, or even has half the power that Harvey Weinstein had.
Or hey, even if he had R. Kelly power, R. Kelly, I mean, he's locked up now, but he he had some influence to keep himself, from prison for a long time, and there was a lot of stuff that he was accused of was actually true, but over time a lot of people just didn't care to really pursue him about it.
But
And he also was able to pay off enough people to keep them quiet
Right.
and keep them in check.
But that's the reason why they let R. Kelly do what he did for so long, is because he was bringing in that money, right? He was the number one R&B artist at the time. You know what I mean? He was their cash cow. So of course they're gonna turn a blind eye to some of the stuff that he was doing, But once that cash ran out, okay, now we can get him, and that's what they did. That's what they do.
Yep, and that's, I mean, you're not wrong. Like I said, money plays a big part in this. There is some racism tied to it. I'd say even money plays, even the money and what status you are at in the specific field. Like Cole brought up Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein is on a different level in Hollywood. He was a producer. He ran his own company. Majors, he's just an actor, right?
Facts.
He doesn't have that much power like we think. He may have some power on set at times based off the roles he's playing. Like, oh, he's playing Kane. So I can understand if, there's a lot of people catering to him. Like, hey, Jonathan, you want some water, man?
Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan, you doing great as Kane, man? Hey, Jonathan, what you need, bro?
Another thing of this, his career has just been like taken off in the last 4 years. So it's not up on that level yet. It's sort of like, I would say, on par with like Chris Tucker. So, so it's not like on that like level where you should be that afraid, like, like Tom Cruise maybe. I'm like,
No, I want
to right. If like, I can understand if Tom Cruise was accused of stuff and he had victims that was afraid to come out, because Tom Cruise got way more influence, and I mean, he got his own little production company and
Hands
stuff
down.
and all that. But he has way more influence than Majors to do some stuff, and not.
You think anybody's criticizing him for Scientology? You think anybody's going to try to do that?
Exactly. You know what I mean? But it's because Tom Cruise is who he is, right? Look at his Mission Impossible movies. Those things make so much money that he's a bankable artist, right?
Yeah. And he's like saving Hollywood right now in the box office after Top Gun Maverick, so they're not going to touch him.
Yep. 100%.
Let me finish up these last two little paragraphs. Rolling Stones is withholding the names of the women and the specifics of the relationships, as several sources voice fear that Majors and his team will retaliate against a woman. My experience in dealing with him and watching him in relationships with several women is really upsetting, says one person familiar with at least two of Major's relationships. As an outside observer, it made me uncomfortable. That's another thing, too. How much did this outside observer know them? Was they a friend of the girl? Was they a friend of Jonathan? Like, who was they? And also, there's a lot of people that see people in relationships now, because you have to factor in this too. Was this person single? Was they envious of a relationship? Like, there's could be so much more to it. That some people look at relationships, man, it's like when we was in high school. You single, you over here walking down the hallways and you see these two couples kissing. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's some people that got a little butthurt, like, man, why the fuck they kissing and shit? I want a girlfriend, man. Fuck them too.
I like that girl. Why is she with him? Right? There's this perfect video. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. It's kind of old, right? But it's a guy and a girl, and they're having a conversation, and the girl is talking about how the guy was hitting on her friend. Yeah. And he was like, I was never hitting on your friend. What are you talking about? Oh, she told me. So they end up calling the girl, and the girl says, oh, I lied. You don't deserve him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not saying that is exactly what's happening here, but like I said, that could be a factor. It can be that. It can be this. Because this is a person looking at a relationship from an outside in. Hell, there's people that are in marriages, right? And there's other people doing better in their marriage, and they see like, man, I want a marriage like that. Mine's is trash. That one is so much better, right? And that marriage they're looking at could be a shitty ass fucking marriage, and they think it's a great marriage and all that when it's really not. Because they're looking from the outside in. They are not in the relationship. a lot of people that try to speak from a third party perspective on these relationships, and they're not in it. They're not even that credible. The two people in a relationship are the ones who are actually in it and know about what's going on between these two. Like shit, I can't, I grew up with both my parents, but even I can't fully talk about their relationship the way they talk about their relationship because I'm not in the relationship. I'm looking from the outside in. My perspective of it is, oh, it's a happy marriage. But it may not be a happy marriage. Right. It may not be. But that's what I think.
Yeah. And another thing too, right? You can go back to like, let's say, okay, so yeah, when he was in school, this and that, right? But you could have also had a woman that he was dating, probably broke up with her. He ended up making money and becoming one of the Hollywood actors, and she mad because he broke up with her and she's not by his side. So you know what? Let's slander his name. Yeah, he was abusive to me. He was this. He was that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just unless you're gonna have these people come out and talk about it and give their names. Nothing in this article to me. It's I wouldn't use it to wipe my butt with. You know what I mean?
And so many people have different definitions. A lot of this stuff to try to like smear people as well. It's like I still remember that as I can't pronounce his name properly, so I'm sorry if I don't. But Aziz Ansari, I believe his name was, like, got pretty much like almost canceled and like for a while.
Oh,
like,
the comedian.
Yeah. Like literally, what she said was literally just like a bad date. Basically, that's all. And then tried to make some like abuse stuff up and such. And it's just like, and then there's so many people and just. In like every situation, like that's one example, but there's many of them where then people are like, oh, okay, well, it maybe not be your definition of abuse, but you know what? She was uncomfortable and emotionally damaged. It was abuse to her, so that's enough.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, it's shit. I'll give an example. I see. All right. So there's a lot of people in relationships that, for example, you at home with your girl, you slap her on the ass, right? Randomly out of nowhere.
I'm just kidding. That.
Oh, he definitely wouldn't. But he just randomly slap your girl on the ass, right? There's some people that think that is weird as shit, even if you're in a relationship. But to the people in the relationship, that's fine with them. Right, some people from the outside might look at it like, "Oh, that's weird. Why you just randomly slapping your girl ass out of nowhere like that in public in front of people?" Like, that's his girl. That's what they like to do. That's their thing. Now, if the girl disapproves of it, does not like it, okay, that's a different story. But they both that's their thing. But you're not in that relationship to know what is truly like what their boundaries are and what they're okay to do with one another. People like to assume, they project their own boundaries onto, they project what they think should be onto someone else. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, bro. There's some people that don't like to even see like people kiss in public. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, oh, what are you doing? Don't do that in public. But you don't know the dynamics of their relationship. You know what I mean? Maybe they like public displays of affection, so they do it.
That's just a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's I'm not sure if I'm gonna show y'all because I'm not sure if anybody's seen this. Literally did a video on it this morning. Right here. So this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. This is a totally different situation, but it has to do with the submarine thing. And I'm not sure if you've seen it, but one of the stepkids of the stepdad that was in the submarine, he was on Twitter and he posted that he was going to a Blink-182 concert, right? And here comes Cardi B to say, the point was, the whole world is praying for these people in the submarine, and this man's son is online shaking dicks for girls off OnlyFans and going to Blink-182 concerts. He was looking for clout all along. Nobody knew who you were until you said that was your stepdad. this is why people hate you, spoiled brat billionaires. Y'all so desensitized. And Cardi B's projecting her own way of grieving and how she would deal with a situation, while this person is doing their own form of grieving. Right?
This was so.
Is
cringe.
it exactly what I would do in this situation? No, but it's unfair to project what you think should happen in this situation
Mhm.
based off what you
Yeah.
dealt with, because you are not
many
that
deal
person.
with different ways. Like I remember the time where so many people said that it was suspicious that people after they lost a relative that they were like smiling awkwardly because it was such a tough situation for them, and that happens, and then they tried to say that, oh, that's suspicious, did they murder them? It's like, what?
Like, no, that's just how some people are.
Yeah, I mean, do you expect anything less from Cardi B? It's fucking Cardi B. Come on, she should be in fucking jail.
I don't expect much from her. I'm just saying that it's just an example of like what I'm talking about. People just projecting stuff. Shit. When my brother passed away, right? And I heard the news about it. My mom was crying. I wasn't crying. Does that mean I don't love my brother or care about him? No. It's just that I just didn't cry when I heard about the news. I was sad, but I didn't. Some people think that's weird. Like, oh, we should be crying for you when your brother died. There's some people that do. I didn't. I didn't cry until we went to his wake and I saw his body. Because that was my first time seeing a dead body. And I was more freaked out about seeing a dead body than the actual situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean I don't love my brother? No. I just react to stuff very differently for somebody else. But someone would call me weird for not crying. But that's their opinion. But still, they can't project what they would do in that situation and apply it, because I'm not them.
Right.
I'm me.
Yeah. You can't expect people to react the same way you would. Like, it's that same situation. My cousin, when his father died, he didn't cry. He was at the funeral. He did everything. He did not cry one time. You know what I mean? I'm sure maybe while he was alone by himself, he probably did, right? But at the point that funeral, maybe he wasn't the type of person that wanted people to see him cry, you know? But people expect, oh, well, he didn't cry, so you don't love your father. And that's definitely not the case.
It's like nah, that's just how it is. And that's why I say with this situation with Majors and stuff, these people that know him, how well do they know him? Did they see something and they not looking at it with the full context? Because like you said, we said earlier, Majors could have probably had an argument with somebody, right? And some person could have walked into the middle of the argument and heard what Major said and not what the other person
said. Or just
said.
in present of it, again, and then they have like that. This is Twitter in a nutshell, though. In a nutshell, though, they have that like dopamine effect where it's like, oh, they can get involved in this. This is my opportunity.
It's ridiculous, bro. And this article just shows me how bad they want to bring this man down for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Because you had all this information come out, and all of a sudden now we're gonna drop this article. This article, right? That she was working on for 3 months, but it coincidentally comes out a day after all the information from Jonathan Majors camp comes out. That's shady to me.
And it was
I think
we all heard, though. It was all info we already heard. So she just dropped this,
Right.
But see, I think whether he was guilty or innocent, I think this new evidence came out of showing more of his innocence just push this person to go ahead and push this article out now to quickly get his there. But I think even after, if he was guilty, they would have just threw this out there anyways to go like, yeah, he's guilty. Now we have this stuff back here from the past that proves why he's even more guilty, right? But either way, both of it is, regardless, is still a strategic type of. It is very strategic. It doesn't feel like it's very genuine to put this out because if to me, them waiting until now when he's playing Kang to do this, when they could have done this during Lovecraft Country, which Lovecraft Country did blow up. There's people that was like pissed that it didn't even get a season 2. They was begging for a season 2. It was like,
I was one of them.
I wanted a season 2 also, and people was begging for it. These people that supposedly don't like Jonathan from his past could have come out at Lovecraft Country to attack him.
Facts.
Why
Yeah.
wait until he is Kang?
Yeah, like they did that this year with an actor who was in it's like the most popular show this year, Beef. Like, and then some actor got accused on like and that old
Glenn
podcast
Walking
saying
Dead.
a bunch of things, and then talked about
Yeah.
that woman that he said he like fucking raped or some shit.
I didn't really look into that situation. I do, but that was
That
also another.
That seemed like
But
a situation.
it happened. It like you, for example, you make up like it happens so often. You know, Steven Yeun does this new Netflix show that really just boosts him up now. And then someone tries to resurface this thing from his past and take him down.
Oh yeah,
you could have got him saying this.
Wait, hold on. Well, what did they? Please don't tell me they actually like resurfaced that old viral funny meme clip as like, yes, you're gay, and then try to do that to cancel him. Please don't tell me that's what they did.
I mean, I think that's from what I remember. I think that's what it was. Is someone tried?
Oh my god! Nobody had
just resurfaced.
That was a hilarious meme clip. All right, that has like 10 million views on YouTube. Nobody has an issue with it, but then it's like some like 12-year-old TikTok user sees it, and then it's like, yeah, he's homophobic. Let's cancel him.
Right.
Fucking kill me. That's like the Filthy Frank stuff. It's like, oh no, JoJo's Filthy Frank? What? It's like, yes, you live under a rock.
It's just ridiculous the way they, you know what I mean, try to dig up all this information from your past because maybe you didn't do something that they wanted you to do or whatever reason it is. You know what I mean? I mean, people change. You know what I mean? I've said some shit in the past that I wouldn't say now. I'm sure we all have. But yet you want to go and judge somebody for something they did when they were young. Like, come on now.
You're right. That's it. Jonathan, you know, it's not to say what he did. If he did do this stuff was okay, but like, you know, you catching people at these times when, you know, they're still coming up. Mind you, Yale, when he's in college and everything. You know, not to say that I remember the thing at Stanford. Not sure if y'all remember it, but those people that raped that girl at Stanford a couple years ago, and they only got like 6 months, and the judge tried to justify it, saying, "Well, they're young, you know, I don't want to ruin their lives, so I'm just giving them 6 months in jail." And it's like, the fuck, they just raped this girl, like 6 months, just because they're young. I don't give a fuck if they're young, like they did some fuck shit.
Yeah, with that situation.
I'm not saying Jonathan did that. But like I said, we need to know the context of what these people talking about, because I want to know what you mean by abusive. Because
I really don't think
about anything abusive now when it's
I really don't think the majority of people truly understand themselves or have like a good conscience in their minds until they're like around 21,
or don't understand what the word abusive means, right? Because they're just like, oh, he yelled at me. Oh, he's abusive. He's abusive. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Let's hear some of the abuse you're talking about, right? Come out and say, you know, say it with your chest. If you're gonna go and talk to these people about all this stuff, then say it with your chest. Bring it out there. You know, I'm sure his ex-girlfriends, right? Unless they're in Hollywood, they probably don't have to worry about their Hollywood careers. So, you know, say it with your chest. Bring it out. Let's hear it. Don't be anonymous. If you're going to slander the man, if you're going to say shit about him, then you should be able to say who you are.
Yep. Just come out and, because it's better to just be straight up, come out and say it. That's why I'll be honest with you. Shit. I think these actors in general and people working in these places in these fields, I understand they don't want to lose their jobs, they don't want to lose opportunities. I get that. Shoot, there's hell, even at the job I'm at, there's certain stuff that if something happened, like, would I keep quiet about it so I keep my job? I don't know yet, but I implore this for everybody, especially these actors. If you dealing with abusive shit, call that shit out on the spot. Get it then. When the Ray Fisher situation happened, and while I don't disagree with him wanting to come out and talk about the abuse he dealt with, but I would have totally respected more if he said that in 2017 while he was part of the film. I get it, NDA, you know, this is his first big film, but I would have totally respected your approach more if you did that in 2017 and said, "Out, this man Josh Whedon was being this, and that, all that," instead of waiting 4 years when your new movie is releasing, where you get a much bigger role to finally say something, right?
Yeah,
You
I'm
should
sure
have said
Josh
it in
Whedon was a little rude
2017.
to him, you know, because he was like a newer actor, and Zack Snyder gave him a lot of like freedom, and then Joss Whedon probably shut him down, and then didn't like him as an actor, so took away a lot of scenes. Yeah, I'm sure
Right,
that'll
and
happen.
like I said, it's just the approach, right? I like I said, I don't fully agree with Ray Fisher in general, but I don't disagree. I'm not saying he did not suffer and deal with any abuse, but his approach to it to me was always way too suspect, and I never liked it. But
Yeah,
if he said that in 2017, I respect that way more because you did that shit at this opportunity where you could have lost your whole career, and it's just it would have been a better approach to do that shit on the spot because it shows that you're in it for the justice. You're not in it for this other shit. You're in it for the justice.
yeah, and to
We're
also
trying to
not, bring up other things with other people outside of Joss Whedon, which is pretty much bullshit, and then act like a lunatic on Twitter. That would help too.
right.
The help
Yeah,
his credibility.
yeah. That's the thing. It's just it's your approach that does matter too, because too many people have these too many people be a little bit vindictive, and they have weird motivations when it comes to this type of stuff. That it's like, what are you in it for? What are you truly in it for? Are you in it for the justice? Because if for me, if I'm dealing with a situation, right, and you know what, let's say me and Cole last year got into a fight, right? We got into, let's say Cole did something I didn't like, and I didn't really say nothing about it. Let's say I wait until 2026, me and Cole are still friends, and I finally call Cole out for it. You know, it's not say that what I'm calling him out for is invalid, but I'm not gonna do that shit. If I didn't call you out about it, then it clearly was not that important enough for me to pursue it. If I didn't call you out for it then,
No, you
and I'm
do it,
not
and then
gonna bring it up again because
I'll do it for the
I should have
money.
called you out for it then, not now.
I'll make
But you
50
see,
response videos for the money. Hell
here's
yeah.
the thing though, K Dot, right?
Yeah,
You talk about Jonathan Majors when he's just coming up. It's not as big headlines. You wait
right.
until he becomes big and then you bring him down. You know what I mean? Now you got clicks. Now you got money. Now you got all of this stuff, right? There's no money into it when bringing him down when nobody knows who he is. But now
Agreed.
that everybody knows who he is, yeah, let's do it now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That is, money is just a bigger motivator for all this stuff. People, I don't know, it's so many crooked people out here nowadays. But I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie to you. If you give me a check for something, shit,
Jesus. I mean, a lot of
thousand
jealousy.
dollars.
I mean, that's pretty
Oh
much what
yeah.
happened though with that one, I forgot her name, but the one female who, went to that country and then was like murdered, and there was that video, of her friends just like beating her up. It's like they
Oh,
didn't.
the
The
Shanquella
black girl there,
Robinson.
yeah, yeah.
The thing is, they were still all fine with her and such, but then once the
What's up,
moment she became really successful
What's
and
up,
they
Mike?
got that new job and stuff, then they like had a, jealousy towards her. So then they did it.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I'm glad you brought that up too, because that Shanquella incident.
Is there any updates on it?
No, I mean, well, they're not. I don't think the people that did it got convicted.
Wait, really?
I don't think they did, from last I remember. Because it was. I think they said that Mexico wasn't really trying to investigate it like that. Because it happened in Mexico, they wasn't really trying to investigate the situation or the whole matter.
Yeah, I don't think they got convicted either, to be honest with you.
That's what the fuck.
But I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on
Yeah. So, is there any one thing that I'm very interested in though, and this actually kind of you'll remember that incident? I believe it was like that famous TikToker who then like killed her boyfriend, and she said
Yeah.
he
It was
launched at
abuser.
her and threw a knife, like a
Yeah.
professional knife thrower, somehow threw the knife perfectly to kill him, and then the police were like, "All right, you can go. Nothing suspicious."
Mhm.
And there's many videos of her abusing him. Yeah, and then she got arrested finally, though, and they were having that court case. I was wondering if there's any update on that.
No idea.
Wasn't that the white girl with the that was
black
dating the black dude? I remember that shit.
Yeah, like, is there any
That was
update on
bullshit.
that? Because she got like arrested finally, and they were having that court case.
But see, that's the crazy thing about it was because we all knew she fucking did it. Even the law knew she did it, and with the bullshit justice system, they're like, oh, we can't really convict her yet because it's like she fucking did it. We know
It's
she did it.
It's like you know how like skilled of like a fucking knife thrower you need to be to pull that off.
Yeah, man. All I'm saying is, and I'm a little bit on I'm gonna say this because I know Keda said he don't want to say, but I'm saying it. He's innocent. Jonathan Majors is innocent.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm leaning more towards him being innocent. Like I said, I'm still.
I never want to say 100% until.
Because I really want to see the video.
He ain't did that shit.
I'm waiting.
What's up, Kurt?
I want to see the video play out because when that video comes out and it's not what people think it is, oh my god!
I mean, I never want to say 100% to something until it's
that Rolling Stones article makes it seem like he was like a formal pimp or some shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
can definitely say though,
yeah, he's more innocent.
He was pimping out these girls and y'all remember
sign NDAs.
You know,
he was Will Ferrell's character from the other guy's movie. He was a pimp in college.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Oh, from
Mike Epps, he had the baby powder and shit and all that.
Yeah, so dumb. You know what I mean? Like, we got to remember, Jonathan Major's career only started kicking off in what, the last how many years?
Couple years.
2019.
Yeah, right. So let's say 2019. So what are you signing an NDA for? You know what I mean? Like, what are you signing it for?
That shit don't mean nothing now since you're talking about it. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean?
Because when that NDA got signed or whatever, he wasn't even big enough to like be NDA worthy of anything.
You know what I'm saying?
Usually people like, R. Kelly, for example, right? He gonna get an NDA because we know he want to do some freaky shit,
right?
With a bunch of people that
cult
they don't want to do. They don't want all these girls coming out.
Not freaky shit. It's cult shit.
Yeah, cult. But his there's a lot of these celebrities that want to. Even Drake does it when he hooks up with some of these girls. He has them sign an NDA.
Yeah.
Jared Leto,
because he doesn't. I don't know what he's doing with them, but he knows some of them might come out and say some shit. It's
like he like to paint his toes.
Literally, that freaking. I think he's a basketball player, football player. The guy who's recently in trouble with a bunch of women,
Zion.
And then there's that porn star coming out talking about, I'm his baby mama. He's
that's his fault.
All that.
He messy.
I mean, he's met, but like those are the type of people that would get these NDAs like that because that type of situation. Because she's coming out saying, "Oh, I'm the baby mama. I'm carrying his baby and stuff." They don't want the whole world knowing about that. That's why they get the NDA for shit like that. Jonathan Majors was not big enough at that time to have an NDA for any reason to like shut anybody up.
Right.
That's the smoke, baby. That's the smoke.
Unless he was having, one of them or always having them big Hollywood parties where anything goes on, you never know what's going on.
Eyes wide shut.
I mean, that's a possibility. But if you're signing an NDA for that, then you can still talk about shit that didn't happen at the party. You know what I mean? So I don't.
And even if it's like something abusive, they're trying to make you stay quiet about. that you can talk, you can still break the NDA to talk about you being abused.
Absolutely.
If the NDA is like directly
Break it
being
to
That
crime.
shit just
Yeah.
don't make no goddamn sense. Like, yo, motherfucker put hands on me. Like, just call cops. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, hey, he put my hands on me when we were having sex. Please
No sense
arrest
to
him.
people. That shit don't make no sense to people. So there gonna be people running with that shit. Like, see, look, there's more people. You got no names.
You know what I mean? All autonomous, right? But yet, look how many 40 people, guys. There's 40 people. We
Where are
can't
these
tell
40
you.
peoples 2 years ago?
Right.
We can't tell you their names, but believe us, there's 40 people that say this about him.
Yeah, I don't know,
40
man.
people.
That's a
That's
lot
what I'm
of
saying.
smoke.
Jonathan Majors is a pimp. Like, that's what they're saying,
Mhm,
pretty much.
mhm.
Jonathan
He's been
Majors.
he was a pimp before. Like, he was a pimp turned
Yeah,
actor.
yeah. Bitch slapping girls and shit. You know what I mean? Where's my money? Get my
Yeah,
money.
I would love to skip just a clip
To
of
walk
that
that block.
slapping someone. That'd be the funniest thing ever if there was a clip out there of him pimp slapping someone.
That'd be fucking hilarious. I couldn't be mad with him for that
You
shit. 'Cause
know,
I'd be like, yo, I didn't expect that.
Right.
but it's just slander right now for whatever reason. We don't know why they want to bring him down so bad. I think
That
because
black man.
and he was about to really run Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like he was going to be everywhere in every movie.
Him and Michael B.
Every
Jordan.
Yeah, everybody wanted him to star in their movie. He would have probably had so many roles, blockbuster movies. Maybe the next Will Smith, and
No, no, you don't want to be the next Will Smith
well,
with Jada.
when it comes to the money he was making in the
Yeah.
movies, yeah, you
Mhm.
definitely want to be on
Yeah,
that.
better than Will Smith.
Yeah, but Will Smith was no slouch. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
You know, Will Smith went from Independence Day, all those movies around those times. He was the number
Nobody,
one guy.
nobody's gonna ever top that. Like, you slap somebody on at an Academy Awards and still win an award. Like, nobody's ever going to do that again.
But even all right, I'm glad you're right
Legendary.
on Will Smith. Like even
Legendary.
Will Smith got dragged harder than Ezra Miller for the stuff
Oh
he
yeah,
did.
Will Smith's been
Yeah,
dragged
yeah,
though. Like, you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, that's like
But
just the
like,
whole August shit. Like, he's been dragged.
Hmm.
I don't agree with all the dragging. I think, but it's just like this is why I goes back to my example of how I'm saying. And mind you, take out all the race stuff with it in general, right? Serious stuff happening with these people, and people can't keep their biases out of these situations. This is
For real.
serious shit, and everybody bringing their biases into it. I've talked about this with Cole at the start of the stream. If me and Anzo is having an argument about MCU Captain America versus MCU Spider-Man, who's better, and I'm a fanboy of Cap, and I say, man, Tom Holland trash, he weak, blah blah blah. That my bias with that is harmless. That is not going to damage or destroy nobody. But if I have a bias between two people that are doing something bad, I see, two killers now, and I like this killer better because he's a rapper. He's my favorite rapper, and the other killer is someone I don't care about. They both killers at the end of the day. They both bad people. I need to keep the same energy with both. I can't just pick and choose,
No,
which
you
I'm.
gotta be you're either with YSL or you with Gunna.
Well, I mean, Gunna album was better than Young Thug's.
I
I'm
can't
just
say
saying.
that.
Hmm.
I'm
But
just saying.
Marvel was about to make this guy the center of their whole Phase 5. That
Yep.
is huge because Marvel has never really centered on one main character, much less now you're going to center on a villain.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he was going to play so many different iterations of that character. So he was going to be huge. He was going to really end up showing how good of an actor he is, and yeah, he was on the rise, man.
They didn't even really center it on Thanos. I
Thanos.
mean, Thanos was a build-up, but like not the way they trying to like push Jonathan.
No, not even
as
close. Yeah,
center.
no, yeah, not even close.
They
Because
was building
Thanos
up.
was in the background, right? They're
Yeah.
they're bringing Kang to the forefront in multiple movies, playing multiple different versions. Like no one else in the MCU is doing that. Like Robert Downey Jr. ain't coming back and playing an alternate version of him. So he was going to be huge, and they didn't want that. They don't want that for him.
But that's just I mean, there's nothing really much else I can say on the matter.
Yeah, sorry. What were we talking about? Favorite killers? Mine is Jeffrey Dahmer.
Terrible
Shit.
Cole.
I mean,
Go
you can
somewhere.
Cole, you can pick better killers, man.
Go sit in the corner, Cole.
Well, we know why Cole likes Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
black
so
man.
like Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige is our S tier, serial killer.
Oh my god! Don't bring Nerdman stuff into this conversation. This conversation was going so good without someone having to say some bullshit that Nerdman says. You know what I mean?
I mean, we needed some
UK propaganda.
We needed some Nerdman here. I sent him an invite. He didn't pull up.
No, we don't need.
Wait, was he supposed to do that comic book thing in like 20 minutes?
Oh, he's doing the tier list today?
Well, I thought he was doing like a read along for a comic book in like 15 to 20 minutes.
I'm not sure. I didn't even see his post about it.
Okay, let's not call his name because Nerdman has a way of showing up once you say his name.
It's like the Candyman.
Yeah.
UK Candyman.
Yeah. You say his name too many times and Nerdman pops up. So let's
Nerdman. Tony said Young Thug album was some slaw. Yeah, I thought it was weak. I wasn't a huge fan of it. Gunna's album.
Sorry. It was a bunch of shit that he already had. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There's nothing.
Man.
I did like the Drake song, but I thought it was just a weak album in general. Just to get some revenue while he in his prison doing his thing.
Well, we already know that both albums are garbage because it's you guys generation.
So
Get your old ass out of here.
It was good. It was fine. It was good. I was shocked.
Which was good.
No.
I was thoroughly shocked with his album. It had no features on it.
No. What album?
You don't even want to know, Cole. You don't even worry about it.
Are you talking about the Drake album?
Oh no! It was Young Thug's album, not Drake's album.
But Drake is dropping an album this year, though.
That. What the hell?
Which is going to be the best album ever because Drake is Canadian, and we have to show you guys how it's done.
All right.
I mean,
You funny.
Drake. I'm not the Drake album. It could just be good. I'm not saying that it is, but
Uzi's about to be number one. He about to have the first number one hip hop album this year.
Come on,
I did like it. I did like this Uzi album.
Come on, K-Dot. You know it's gonna be number one. You know Drake has shown you Americans the way and how to make real money.
I mean,
I hope
it does get a spot, but you have a Canadian bias to him. I don't have that Canadian bias to him.
It's actually funny though. It's like Canada gives you guys like our D tier artists and with like just a bunch of ghostwriters, and then they become number one there.
I mean, to be fair, Canada doesn't have many good rappers.
So
they don't. They kind of wash.
No.
I mean, y'all got Justin Bieber. Y'all got.
Listen, we give you our worst rappers, and then they become the best there.
Of course, that's exactly what it is like, And Drake, you can say, ghost writers or whatever, but I'm pretty sure a lot of your Gunna and these guys have ghost writers as well. Especially
every rapper got writers.
Especially with the lyrics that these guys put up them, those crappy ass lyrics. You have to have some kind of ghost.
Better than hip hop. The hip hop. Don't stop. Nobody listen to that shit no more.
First off, watch that.
Nobody listen.
That's
classic.
Oh yes, we do.
This is not
they do.
Nobody listen to that shit no more.
Yes, the fuck they do.
If you like 50 and up,
You see, that's the problem with your generation, all right? You guys have to understand if it wasn't for the hip hop to the hibbity hip hop, you guys wouldn't have none of that. What you guys listening to now, you would be not listening to it if it wasn't for that. So at least give the creators their respect.
I do, but it's at the same time, like, you know what I'm saying? y'all ain't doing. Y'all ain't really doing nothing. Like I was just thinking about this today. I was like, yo, any of these old ass motherfuckers come out today, they're not selling nothing over like
Fact.
20K.
Well,
Fact.
you know why they're not selling it? Because you guys are brainwashed to all of this crappy ass music
But
that you
also,
listen
but also, the older generation be hating on the younger generation. This has always been a thing, though. This has always been a thing.
to.
Cause I look, it was Ice Cube's most recent album. It came out like last year. Now, I do
Look at
not dislike.
KRS-One and Nelly. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole, like, you remember, like, Beef seeing that shit? Like, instead of embracing Nelly, like, you know what I'm saying? He just gonna hate on me. Like,
No. Nelly hated on KRS One first,
Where's
and
that?
that's why KRS One had to come back and show. And yeah, and KRS One basically showed Nelly, like, listen, you can't test me when it comes to lyrical genius. You can't test me. But because Nelly was Nelly and KRS was who KRS was and wasn't really kicking off anymore, they didn't really play his stuff. You know what I mean?
so you're gonna say like them '80s rappers wasn't hating on the new '90s rappers when they was
No,
coming out?
no, we embraced them.
Nah,
We
it was
embraced
not
them.
like that.
Yeah, because it was Fly,
Well,
right?
well, no,
No,
they was because remember with the '80s rappers, they
Because
wasn't
the '90s is when the shit started getting more violent and shit.
right,
before
That's
gangster
but
rap
a
came out.
lot of these rappers, right? Jay Z was brought out by Big Daddy Kane. You know what I mean? So a lot of these old school rappers were bringing out those new guys that we were listening to.
And
You
then the
know,
new guys ended up usurping them.
well, you know, times change. Money got more, right? So
Well, and I'm be fair. As the generations go, just music fades out in general. Like, not say, look, a lot of the old stuff. I listen to more classical music and stuff like Temptations and all that. But that music just fades out because the sound doesn't really translate
it's
to
dated. There's
today.
nothing wrong with that, but it's
It's
just
not.
certain
It does
certain
not take
shit. They
away.
even like look at the ringtone era. Like a lot of that shit was terrible. Like
wait,
Yep.
so you guys think like Biggie Smalls and all those tracks are dated?
No,
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 no. I'm saying
no.
that.
Well,
I'm
no.
just saying like
I think it just. It's not those songs are still good and stuff and great.
those
Not saying
age better than like a lot of the '80s shit. It's just like it's definitely like the sound and like the sound quality and stuff back then and stuff. Like
Oh
sound
yeah,
quality has gotten way better now.
yeah, technology. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I mean, because I'll say this: the '90s rap compared to '80s rap aged way better than the
And,
'80s.
and people that like people can still relate more to a Biggie and Pac than a Big Daddy Kane just because of how shit is now. It's
No,
just
but
relatability.
well, that yes, but you see, when Big Daddy Kane and all those guys were rapping, it was more about fun. You know what I mean? Happy
Hmm.
go lucky stuff, and then the gangster rap came in, and that's when everything changed. But that's the only reason.
See
That's what,
that?
but that's what like it gets fucked up when people blame like, oh, like all this is drug rap and shit and gangster rap. It's like, but that started way back and like that's always just been a thing. But
Not so much since NWA, right? You had, Jesus, what's his name right now? It's slipping my
Biggie
mind.
was dark. He was dark. His lyrics was dark.
Yeah,
But
yeah, 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 yeah. But I'm saying, because Biggie came out around the time where it wasn't really gangster rap, but it was more of let's tell people what's going on in the hood type of thing. You know what I mean? But in the
mhm.
'80s, it was more like let's get people on the dance floor, dancing and partying and having fun.
They, they,
That's what
and you had Eminem talking about, yeah, I want to kill my mom, put her in the trunk and shit. Like,
right.
And beefing with his mom, that dude, wow.
But
But look, let me.
Eminem was better than any of the rappers you guys have today.
Whoa,
no,
whoa,
even
whoa.
not better than Mac Miller.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he is.
All right, now let me show you guys some real rap better than all that '90s, 2000s,
Oh
and '80s.
no,
Elevated.
he
Crank
was
that.
the one who
That shit
killed
fire.
hip hop with
No,
Soldier Boy. Yes, he killed it.
Nah,
He
so,
killed it.
so see,
'Cause
Soldier Boy
after
elevated
Soldier
hip hop.
Boy, we had these
what you mean
Hurricane
after Soldier
Players.
Boy, we got J Cole, we got Kendrick, we got Drake, we got Travis
Uh,
Scott. What you mean?
okay, so hold on. Yes,
Soldier
you
Boy
got
opened up
those.
the door for all of them. He said, here
You
you go.
you
Boom.
got them after Soldier Boy, but during the Soldier Boy time, you had a
That
lot
wasn't
of those
even a long
internet.
time. Like
You
he
had a
only had
lot
like a
of
2 year run.
You
Like
had
a
a
real
lot
like
of
2 or 3
internet
year run.
rappers coming out, and they were just garbage hurricanes.
But you had Wiz Khalifa coming out this time, dropping heat. You had like Currency coming out. You had Wale dropping crazy mixtapes.
Wiz
Man,
Khalifa.
Mixtape era is crazy. Like, yeah,
Oh yeah,
Meek was dropping fire. Like
Kaka,
tripping.
Wiz coming out the cuts with Too Short dropping these bangers.
Kaka.
Dropping Cushion Orange Juice, one of the greatest albums. Mixtapes, whatever you want to call it.
No, the Purple album is one of the greatest albums.
Mhm.
Say, Joe. It's the champagne pouring, big joint rolling,
Horrible.
bang sipping, no one
You
smoking.
a hater, Anzo. You just a hater.
Horrible.
Think that she got
What
some
is this?
water. I take
Horrible.
Anzo is just a hater, y'all.
Yeah, A-Ray.
Let me like
What
this.
was
video
that? Was that some like art project? What was that supposed to be?
Horrible.
Crazy.
Let me let Wiz Khalifa know. Banger. Comment.
I'd rather listen to 6ix9ine than that song.
For real.
So, hey.
For real.
But I think we should get ready to, close it up because I don't got nothing else. Maybe it might come back later for a game stream. I don't know, but I pretty much finished up everything. We talked about everything for the most part. I'm glad to have Cole, Anzo, and Perp come on, talk about this Ezra, Jonathan stuff. Oh, I didn't really get Perp's opinion on the between the Ezra and Jonathan situation, but
Man, Ezra's a
I
fucking
feel about
thug.
today specifically is seeing what happened on Twitter. Ezra coming out, putting out his apology.
Man,
What did he
addressing
say
stuff.
that.
I didn't read it. What did he say?
Oh, you never. Oh, let me show you. So
I don't gotta accept that apology. I don't got nothing to do with me.
he was basically specifically trying to call out. I'm gonna show the apology. It's not an apology, but more so addressing the
Yeah. Well, it was better than the Will
How
Smith
they
apology.
handled his story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna read it real quick. So this is Ezra straight from his Instagram post. Mind you, somebody else could have written it. I don't know, but I'm just reading what was posted on his Instagram today. I'm encouraged by today's outcome and very grateful at this moment to everyone who has stood beside me and sought to ensure that this egregious misuse of the protective order system was halted. Protective orders are meant to provide safety for individuals, families, and children who are in danger. They are not meant to be used as weapons by those seeking attention or fleeting tabloid fame or some sort of personal vengeance when there are people in true and dire need of these services. I've been unjustly and directly targeted by an individual who the facts have shown has a history of such manipulative and destructive actions. I implore those members of the media who have recklessly spread false claims and failed to accurately report the truth in context of this story to hold themselves to a higher standard and take time to find the facts rather than chasing the clicks. Which, in general, I can agree with because journalism has not on point as of recent in general. No, people not reporting the news like they supposed to in general.
I know for a fact he didn't write this shit, bro. Like,
No, he didn't. He didn't write that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he did either.
Yeah.
Even if he did, I'm
Sound
not
nice,
saying he didn't. But let me finish this, and I'll bring up my point about why I'm still. Let me just finish it. On a personal note, I want everyone to know that I am continuing to do my best to preserve my own wellness and what I can to reserve the collateral damage this ordeal has brought upon me and those close to me. Finally, to all you many beings in this world who have had the enormous courage to see me through it all and make it here with me, I'll spend a long time trying to explain to you what it has meant to have your support. You have my undying gratitude, admiration, and love. Ezra. Shouts out to the Flash. Well, used to be the Flash.
Still will be.
So I said this today, and I think at this point, I think WB is done because we know during his little run
get somebody else. So like, get somebody that's like younger. Like, just get all new younger. To build around David Cordsmith and stuff like that.
Right. I mean, yeah, I agree. I don't think you should keep. Now, I said this earlier. if he were to stay, I would be bothered by it simply because, you know, if you're gonna drop Henry Cavill and even Gal Gadot and they didn't do nothing, but you keep Ezra, that doesn't make any sense because you can't market Ezra, you can't put him on the red carpet, like you can't. Sasha Kali and Michael Keaton had to do majority of the behind the scenes marketing for him when he couldn't even do that. So trying to bring him back and continue with him, it's not even worth it. Don't
listen, they can bring him back as Reverse Flash.
That'd be hilarious.
Nah, he's still gonna hurt the movie. But still, you can't bring him back. And also, like I said, I brought this up earlier, and I connected back to Jonathan Majors thing. You know what? I even connected it to Chris Brown's situation with Rihanna because
Chris Brown different.
I know. Well, I'm explaining. I'm not just saying it's the same exact situation, but both individuals put their hands on women, and now it's to a different.
They'll never let that shit go with Chris Brown. They never gonna let that shit go.
Right, and you know, it's not to say that, you know, I'm 100% letting Chris Brown slide for it, but like this situation here, and we talked about this earlier. This was the first thing that happened. This was the first drama that started,
Too
right?
close,
And I remember when this shit happened, you know, there was a lot of people in general that was trying to basically. There was a lot of people against. There was a lot of people trying to say, nah, we just gotta wait and see. You know, there's probably more to it. Blah blah blah. All that. Never got any elaboration on this situation. This incident that happened here. Nobody went to jail for this situation, so they probably settled it. But still, from the looks of this. Right, that's what it looked like to me, right? But no one knows if this was them playing around or not. But from the looks of it, from face value, this he you know, he assaulted a woman. Hey, I'm gonna say young. Ezra assaulted a woman, right? Now, this was on camera. We didn't see what Jonathan Majors did. We don't know if he, you know, beat the shit out of that girl, right? Not saying he did, not saying he didn't, but we don't know. Nobody's seen that shit. And Jonathan Majors, without anybody seeing that shit, got attacked harder than this person here who is doing that shit.
And like they were in like look like a store or whatever, but like you in New York, bro. There's hella people walking around. Like somebody gonna see that shit. Like,
right. And the fact that nobody like recorded it or released any footage of it, not saying they didn't or nothing happened, but my point is, Jonathan Majors, we don't know what he did behind the scenes. We know what this person did because it's right here on camera. And when this stuff happened, I know people remember it. Stuff would come out about Ezra Miller one day, next day people stopped talking about it. And then when the stuff came up again, people talk about it one day, and then they stopped talking about it. But Jonathan Majors, boom, 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 daily, back to back, getting attacked. And also, you cannot forget this because these two. This what pissed me off the most. Right now, we can bring it up and get into a racial thing because this shit got me just pissed the most.
Motherfucker type fast as hell.
So these two, Mohan Kapoor and Tanoch Horta, he has allegations against him of trying to talk to minors. Tanoch Horta has sexual assault allegations against him. They both work at Marvel Studios, same as Jonathan Majors, and they got allegations against them too. Nobody is dragging them the same way they're dragging Jonathan Majors.
Facts.
And that shit
is the bigger name.
Right. That is a factor in it. But I ain't gonna lie, that shit bothers the fuck out of me because, you know, look, if they all did bad shit, all of them should be getting dragged the same. They all should be losing whatever deals and shit. They all should be losing everything if they actually did what the fuck they did. You know, if they bad people. But they all have allegations. I don't know how much, you know, I don't know exactly if they did what they did. I don't know yet. There's not enough evidence. But there's not enough evidence on Jonathan Majors to say he did what he did. Same for these two. So it's just weird to me that these two getting a pass. People not talking about them enough. But Jonathan Majors gets dragged the most, right? Now I can throw race into it. They both also people of color, but it's just fucked up that they not getting dragged the same too. And mind you, these people lives we are playing with, and nobody is taking this shit serious because they biased as fuck. Because that Marvel's trailer came out, hey look, Brie Larson titties, they look nice. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, they did. They look nice up in that trailer. But fuck Brie Larson titties. This motherfucker was up in that trailer, ain't nobody say shit when he came up in that trailer. And mind you, he got allegations of pedophilia against him.
Yeah, and it's weird how we haven't had many updates on that since it broke.
They probably killed him silently, like behind the scenes.
Could
right,
have.
but I don't know. Yeah, it's just, and I brought this, mind you, I know it's a totally different situation. What Chris Brown did to Rihanna was far worse than what Ezra did here, but I know the public does not take kindly to men putting their hands on women because not a lot of people like that shit, right? I don't think nobody should be putting hands on anybody, but if you do put hands on anybody, be ready to face a physical retaliation. If you put hands on somebody, just be prepared for them to hit you back. That's just what it is, whether you're a man or a woman. But still, this motherfucker got away with choking a woman.
That shit reminded me of that skit in the Chappelle show. He's like, he was playing dialogue. Like, you're too close.
But yeah, it's just I know Perp didn't really get to say much on it. I mean, Perp, how do you feel about this particular shit going
the whole
on?
Flash shit. With the Ezra stuff, I don't really, I already know what that is, but I don't got much to say about it. Thank God it's over. Like shit. Like I don't know if he gonna be popping up in any other movies besides like a Tyler Perry movie or some shit now. But
and I'll say for you, it's some white people stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. Like I say, even like bringing race into it, there is a racial aspect to it, and even taking race out of it, right? This is still wrong because I said this earlier with Cole, the whole shit with Emmett Till, and he's not the only person that had false allegations against him in general. It happens to a lot of people. People get allegations against them. There's people in jail doing time right now for shit that they didn't do, and people in the criminal justice system took that situation and was like, nah, let's get rid of him. Let's go ahead and dump some evidence on him that's not his, right? Just to fuck him over. People doing time right now for weed that they shouldn't be doing time for, and that shit legal in most.
Now it's more legalized and people getting expunged now because now they can make money on shit like some bullshit.
But yeah, hey, hopefully if Jonathan Majors is innocent and is big enough to make a wake up call for a lot of people, I don't think it will. But just a wake up call in general to get people to, try and be smart about these situations more. Just wait, do research. That's just the hope. It's just
after Jonathan Majors is gonna be somebody else. So.
But you see, the problem is, right, because of the Me Too movement, it's like believe all women. And we are getting to know now that you can't believe all women because they lie, right? And the ones that are really getting abused are getting, now you're going to be questioned whether it's true or not because you have a lot of these people who are lying.
A lot of people just looking for a bag and shit.
Yeah.
But see, in Anzo, that's why even, like me personally, I always, wanted to question both sides. But like I said, going back to Otis' example, Emmett Till got lied on by a woman, and that bitch got to live like a whole full, she got to live a full life, right? She got to live a full life. She died on her own accord at her own time.
Yeah, the fact that nobody lynched her is insane.
Right, or she had fucking prison time. She got the biggest slide of a lifetime. And she made a false allegation and got a little boy, jumped and beat up by a bunch of crazy ass.
It's also weird, how the movie didn't say that she was still alive at the end. That would have been nice, but oh well.
Wait, what do you mean? She dead?
No, I don't think the Till movie said that she was still alive at the end, like after film, like in the.
Oh, I mean, They didn't say she was dead in the film either.
No, she wasn't dead at the time. That she lived for 6 months, then died like 6 months later. But yeah, she was alive for a long time, and it's like no, that's the thing. Like for some reason, a lot of people that never like every single thing that talked about the story never mentioned that yeah she's still alive and out there free. Like it's like everybody thought she was still dead.
Yeah. Well, see, a lot of people for a while, and that's the thing about how she got away with it. It never got revisited enough for people to like really pursue her about it, because there's some people who thought she was dead for a long time.
Yeah, people thought she was dead, and it's insane.
Yeah, but they tried to prosecute her, and they wanted to, take her to court for her lying and what happened, and they said no.
Yeah, because it's the state she lives in. Because it's like at a certain point, certain stuff that happens, if you don't pursue it at a certain time, they're not going to pursue the case.
And she died a little bit after that, right? So
yeah.
Yep. Sadly. She got to live until her 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's a little weird though how, I mean they're doing that with like even to this day with like Nazis in the U.S. Finding them, but so I don't see why they can't with people like her, but oh well.
Right.
Well, it's not that they can't; they didn't want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just like I was just really shocked by how few people actually knew the story when the film came out. That really surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you surprised that American history doesn't talk about its actual history?
Facts.
Well, no, I don't think. I think it's just it's a statewide issue, because what I learned in California, like we talked about Emmett Till in school and shit, but there are some people in other states that don't even cover that stuff, because the education system is like it's a state by state thing, and it's not really unified. Because you got to allow each state to govern themselves and make their own rules and stuff. That's the thing about it. That's why, at some point I'm going to be moving to Texas, but I ain't going to lie to you. I'd rather my kid go to school in California than Texas. Just being real. Texas might be a better place to live at. It's cheaper.
Texas is definitely better.
Yeah, but they love their guns over there in Texas, boy.
Right. That type of stuff. Because it's just like personally, Texas, great place to live at, but education wise, nah, I'd rather my child go to school in California.
Fuck California, fuck New York, and even Jersey. Expensive as fuck.
New York school. I don't know, man. I can't trust New York. Oh yeah, I put real quick before we go. I put out this tweet the other day. Peter Parker and Miles Morales is some bootleg New Yorkers. They are not from New York.
Why?
Especially Miles.
They're from upstate.
Miles, if you notice in the game, in the movie, Miles does not talk like he's from New York. He does not talk.
That's what I always been saying. He
lives in. Well, they never do with like any either version, and that's also one thing that
same thing with Peter too. Like.
Yeah, here's the thing though, that lost 1970s or so, like Spider-Man versus Kraven the Hunter film. That's something they brought up because in that film, the character actually has a New York accent, and when people saw in like 2011 before the guy's laptop got damaged and got lost forever, they were all so shocked because hearing him with a New York accent because they never heard it before in any other film or anything with Spider-Man.
Yeah, because it sounds right. Like how you live in New York and you don't sound like from New York. Even white people in New York have a specific sound too. And Peter Parker does not sound like even white people.
Yeah, I want to know. I really want to know how like that pizza time scene would go with a New York accent.
I think they should. I think they need to make Peter Parker Italian. He need to be the one to make Italian people from New York. And you change some shit,
buddy.
Hey, well, fuck are you, Kraven? But yeah,
that's Italian. What? That just sounded like a Japanese guy who barely
that's
knows
how they
English.
talk. Yeah,
That sounds like
Hold
a
on.
Japanese.
Did any of you like that Craven trailer?
It was alright. I'm just going to see the movie though.
I thought it looked terrible. I'm sorry.
Really?
I ain't gonna lie, I was dying when that lion blood got into his skin.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it.
it didn't even look like Craven the Hunter. It looked like his cousin who's a lawyer in California.
Well, it's an
That's what it
origin,
looked like.
so
I
Yeah,
don't
it looked good to me.
yeah, I was surprised. I was like, okay, this looks actually pretty like halfway decent. So.
Yeah.
I mean, he like Aaron is Craven. He doesn't visually look bad, but it's just the quality of the this right. He actually looked good as Craven. It's just I don't trust the movie.
Yeah.
I'm just more upset that they chose to make this rated R, but not like Venom and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Again, the guy himself doesn't look bad, but everything around him and the
Yeah, it doesn't
costumes
look
and
good.
lighting, it just all looks poor. It's just like any Sony fucking product.
And then his dad in the trailer seems more like Craven than actually him.
Mhm.
you
Does
gotta
Craven-
remember, like this is like early Craven, so he's gonna definitely get into that shit. Like,
Mhm.
as long as he's hunting poachers and shit like that, like
I got a feeling they're gonna make him an anti-hero.
they're not.
I mean, Craven not really. Well, Craven, because this thing about Craven, he's not really he's not like a take over the world type villain. He just wants to hunt.
He
shit.
just like hunts. He likes
Yeah.
hunting. That's all they need to do is like have him hunting motherfuckers.
He's not Russian. Yeah, he didn't have the accent really like that in the trailer. But he doesn't look bad. It's just
He does have the accent, but it's just very it's
Hispanic,
not as heavy.
yeah. You do look like fucking George of the Jungle.
I think it looks good.
He look like George of the Jungle.
You type way too fast, bro.
Yeah, that's what he remind me of in that trailer. He looked like George of the Jungle.
Don't remind me of that.
Cole, it wasn't a bad movie.
God, yes it was. God, I can't believe they had Brendan Fraser in his prime and they do shit like that. And that like Canadian comedy film, what was it called?
The Mountie.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. After the Mummy 3, they didn't really before the Mummy 3, they really didn't give Fraser a lot of good roles.
They always wasted him. It's sad, but I mean, at least they're doing good stuff now again. Yeah, a lot of people say he didn't deserve that Oscar. Or you're tripping. It was you went into.
I still haven't seen the role yet, Cole.
Yeah, okay, listen. Everybody is just like before they even went into it, they just wanted to label it as like a Oscar bait, like sad story film. Boo hoo, give me an Oscar, and just like him laying in a fat suit and doing nothing. Where no, it's like there's definitely films that fit that mold that are just Oscar bait and everything, and it's just like a sad story. Give him an Oscar or her that throughout the years, and that looks like it on paper, but no, that's nothing like it at all. If you watch the film, nothing at all, and he's genuinely amazing. He isn't just like a dude sitting in a fat suit. His performances, and it's not Oscar bait at all. His performance is incredible, and there's so many minute details in it that are just difficult to pull off. Really, only like Colin Farrell did that year. It's people are idiots though, especially on Twitter. They just like see out of context clips like that fucking ending of it and then mock it. Just like the Marriage Story thing. They see that out of context clip of them arguing, and then they're like, "Oh, it's just a shitty film." It's like, "Fuck you! You didn't see it. You didn't fucking see it."
Well, that's happening when spoiling movies.
Yeah, it's a problem with Twitter.
Bro, out of Toby, Andrew, Tom, who had the best New York accent?
Probably Andrew or Tom.
I think Andrew. Even Andrew didn't sound like he's from New York, but he got that. He seemed like a kid that grew up in New York. Even if you white, you grew up in New York. You rough. You're not really gonna grow up New York rough. Even if you white, you're gonna be a little bit rough in New York. Andrew wasn't no chump. He wasn't no slouch. So I'm gonna say Andrew.
Toby's better than Andrew in every single way.
That's not the question.
Kobe is the better spot. It's better overall. But New York accent, not. But none of them had a New York accent, in my honest opinion.
None of them.
They didn't even sound like white people. Like I said, they didn't even sound like white people from New York. White people from New York got a like distinct sound. You can tell they from New York.
And they didn't even like any of the support and or background characters. It's so weird, but
Like, fuck your life.
Yeah.
I'm deep into this One Piece shit. It's crazy. Started watching One Piece May 23rd, and now I'm at like episode 900.
What episode?
920 something.
What the fuck? Wait. What year did you start?
I started last month, bro. I started May 23rd, bro.
Oh gosh.
I've just been running through that shit. Yo.
And you watched 900 episodes?
Yeah, I'm almost there. Like,
You're outta
because
here.
they're at like
900 episodes.
because they're at like 1,060 something right now.
Oh fuck! You know, at least pick a good anime. What the fuck?
Nah, One Piece is fire though. One Piece is fire.
Hey, One Piece over Naruto.
That's facts. After watching it, yes, that's facts.
That's not a high bar. That's like saying One Piece over One Punch Man.
No, I'm just saying as far as like I'm just impressed by the world building and just how massive the world is.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. It has good aspects, but then it's dragged down by other things. You know, like I think again, Attack on Titan does a way better mix. It's great, and people hated on it though for stupid reasons. It's like they had an idea of what they wanted for the show, and then it didn't happen, so they hated on it.
But some people that just don't watch One Piece will just complain like, "Oh, it's too long." It's just like you act like Naruto don't got like 700 episodes because you got to watch Naruto, Shippuden, and Boruto. Like
Naruto is unnecessarily long, but not in a good way. Like it's not. They could end it.
and out of all like the 1,000 of episodes that you have of One Piece, they only have like 100 episodes of like filler.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. Shouts out Anzo, Cole, Perk. You can find Anzo at Bigger For It Entertainment. You can find Cole somewhere on my channel, maybe MSK's channel, multi-topic channel. He be all over the place and shit. You be careful with him because he might get you in trouble. He's a liability, but